Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. Swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. EYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin, crypto, ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today is going to be absolutely awesome, guys, because we did just have a 3-day bear market. Back in the green, baby. So in a bull run, you cannot call it a bull run until you can buy a dip and make money. And guess what we just did? We bought the dip and we made money. Let's go, guys. It's time to get excited. We got Bitcoin back over 116. We got Ethereum almost near its 4,700. We got 4,640. I do think we're about to absolutely explode on Ethereum. 4,900 by Monday. I truly believe that. And what that's going to do, that's going to catapult the entire market. And we're going to see 8,000, 9,000 probably in a few weeks. I'm not even joking about that. Same thing happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin passed 69,420, the previous all-time high, and ripped to 100. And I can see ETH doing that exact same thing. It's almost the same playbook. The stock guys, they're very, very consistent on the way they do things. They do the same thing over and over. And we pretend like, wow, I can't believe that, when it's just the same playbook. And they're going to run the ETH playbook just like they ran Bitcoin. Really excited for that. But we got a lot of other things going on too today. Powell just spoke. That is kind of the reason why we're popping. Powell basically said we're having a rate cut. We do have 3 rate cuts, or 3 potential rate cuts this year. September, mid-September, late October, and mid-December. So what that means is potential. We're entering a rate cutting cycle. Normally, when we enter a rate cutting cycle, that comes with quantitative easing. Quantitative easing plus rate cuts equal bull market. That is what we're waiting for. That is why your alts are not running, is because we need those couple things. But it does look like with the forward-looking markets that we're going to get that, and we're going to get that fast, guys. I am excited. I hope you are. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Bring on my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Dude, how you feeling today? I feel good. I feel
good.
really good.
I feel good. Look, that was great. That experience this morning was really good. I mean, if you just started to listen to him speak, you didn't know what you. It's hard to decipher a lot of this stuff through his tone because his tone is very consistent. But the words, the keywords, right? And it seemed to lean towards we're going to get a rate cut in September. But the biggest indicator to me was poly market jumping from a high 50%, which, by the way, came down from 80% to high 58% or something like that, around there, back to in the mid 80s right now. So we're not going to hear from Powell again until the actual rate cut decision and all that stuff. So I think we're going to look good, man. We still have Trump to speak today. Hopefully he does not mess that up. It's the perfect setup for a Friday, which we don't usually get a bunch of great bullish Fridays to start off, right? Or not necessarily this impactful to start off, right? I think this can be a good way to go into the weekend. Obviously, Saturday, never huge expectations either way, up or down, just kind of like probably more of a choppy day for traders to scalp. And then Sunday could be big, could be really big. Talking about new all-time highs for both assets, possibly on the table. Let's see how today plays out, though. I hope that it continues, this bullish energy. Hopefully that speech that Trump gives is good, and we head into the weekend with these positive vibes. And of course, we got the energy coming from the Trench Kitty community that is a part of our overall on-chain revolution community. And I just love that. We turned it. We turned that energy to start this weekend. I love it.
100%, dude. And it's great too when you get normies texting you. Like my uncle reached out to me this morning. He's like, yo, I got it in Ethereum at 4,200. I bought a 10 grand worth. And now he's like, I'm up. This is so easy. I'm up a lot. Like, in a matter of an hour or two. Absolutely awesome. I did tell him to get in at 35. He waited to 42. That's fine, right? That's all good. That's fine. But it is awesome to kind of see normies kind of entering. And he's not somebody who's going to open up a Coinbase account. Like I was sitting there talking to him. I was like, hey, I think, you have this much in retirement. Maybe put a little bit of that into Ethereum. So he ended up doing that. So really excited for normies to be entering. I'm really excited for us to be expanding. I'm really excited for a lot of things. But let's jump right into the first thing here, which is our good friend and buddy, Trench Kitty. So let's take a look at his chart over on Solana first. He is sitting at around what's this 100, almost a little under 160K. Absolutely awesome. This is phenomenal. I love this chart. I absolutely love it. This is showing me weak hands are getting out, strong hands are getting in, weak hands out. We haven't seen anything like that since yesterday, but Bitcoin was dipping yesterday, so we did see that. So I'm expecting this bounce. We did break through this bottom trend here, and then we're coming back up, and I do think we're going to be up, between 250,000 up here, probably next week or something. This is just me looking at this chart and speculating. Really excited for Trench Kitty right now, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest thing to me is the support and community growth. That's the biggest thing. That's the thing that I'm focused mostly on, is having that continually grow in the Twitter following, which we are seeing, and then also the X community as well. But also the support that we're seeing from other players in the Bitcoin ecosystem that we've recently talked to and stuff like that. So this is going to be really an exciting time, right? Obviously, price will do its thing because we're going to be here every single day. And in the communities interacting with us on our live streams. We live stream from the Trench Kitty X account, which I don't think any meme coin has done that before, where they have a daily show Monday through Friday. I mean, it's going to go on forever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why it's like, and then just strengthen numbers. I'm going to just keep beating that drum, because that's the most important thing. Without a community, a strong community, you don't really have a meme coin, and we got to continually grow that. And that's what I'm focused on. And that's what I think the community should be focused on. And they are, they know the mission at hand.
I don't even like calling, Trench Kitty a meme coin. I think of it more as a community coin. This is something that we and the community can root on. We can cheer for. We can kind of be fans of, right? It's kind of like a football game, right? You're sitting there, you're watching your favorite team, and you want them to keep winning, right? Some L's are, it happens, but you just know that they'll bounce back because you believe in them. And I want that for this, right? I want this to be full-on community vibes, like the whole 9 yards here. And I do feel like we got that already. And shout out to the people that are pushing this on X as well. Noah's dad and Mur. You guys, man, I can't refresh my feed without seeing you guys have a bullish post. I love it. Absolutely love it. We need more of that too, guys. More of that too. So
Yep. And we want to encourage both ecosystems, the Solana ecosystem and the Bitcoin ecosystem. So I know, we've worked with infrastructure partners on the Bitcoin side, and we're working on trying to get, connected with some infrastructure partners on the Solana side as well. So don't worry, guys. We're constantly at this, and we'll grow together. But yeah, man, I'm ready to get into the day. I'm excited. I think this is a great start to the day.
Yeah, 100%. One thing too, I want to mention that we are trading Trench Kitty on Magic Eden right now. There has been 4 buys so far, so absolutely awesome there. We got to get trades over here. If you do make a trade over here, just so you know, I'm going to add you to a list. I'm not going to say what that list is. I don't know. Blah blah blah. Just make some trades over here. Let's get some volume. We want to get Trench Kitty on the front page of Magic Eden. So if you do buy, we do need some people to come in and list this though, so you can bridge over. The market cap is super high, 267, while it's 160 over here. So it is more expensive on the Bitcoin side right now, because I don't think anyone's willing to sell their Trench Kitty cheap. So that's the best part. But if you are willing to sell your Trench Kitty cheap, bridge it over. You go to trenchkitty.com, and let me actually show you guys that too, because I did have some questions over the last couple of days of how can I get to the bridge? Where is it? So Yagobi made it actually easier for you guys. He's our lead dev over here. He went in and he added this bridge to Bitcoin button. It's super easy, super simple.
Good tech, GUD tech.
You change it to Solana, you come down here, you change it to Trench Kitty, and then whatever's in that wallet, you have to connect your Bitcoin wallet and your Solana wallet, and whatever's in that wallet, you can easily send the Bitcoin, and then you guys can list it at the correct market cap if you're willing to sell it. I mean, I wouldn't be willing to sell this thing. I mean, 160 market cap for this thing. I mean, there's no hell way I would sell one Trench Kitty at this point.
And last thing for the housekeeping this morning, we are making one more members only video today. We already made one 2 days ago about the members and that Trench Kitty situation. So please, because Sunday, 12 a.m. Eastern is the cutoff. Watch the video, do what you're supposed to do. After that cutoff, we can't help you. So watch the video. We're going to put it out right after the show. Give us about an hour and it'll be out. Watch the video. Simple steps, 2 minutes of your life. 2 minutes. Maybe 3 if you watch the video. That's it.
Yeah. 100%. All right, but let's jump right into it today. So huge Fed day. Powell speaks, nation stack Bitcoin reserves and crypto stocks crush TradFi. So let's first jump in that first part of it. Fed Chairman Powell suggests current conditions may warrant interest rate cuts. He, in this speech today, if you missed it, he really focused on the main thing, which was jobs. He's not happy that jobs are declining. Fed Chairman Powell has done everything in his power to make sure that jobs was his number one priority, and it continues with this speech today. And I think that is why Polymarket right now is showing a huge move today. I mean, it should have been expected. We're at 86% rate cut. We were at almost 60 something this morning, so huge jump there. So really excited for that, and really excited for potentially getting a 90. Like Yagobi says, like usually when we hit 90, there is no coming back. It's usually almost definite, right? So so really, and if it does come back, it's a fake out, right? So it normally happens. So we're just really excited for that. But what was your thoughts on that? What do you think? Are you comfortable saying we're gonna get 3 rate cuts this year?
So what you told me about, like, the stock guys saying it is a bull market year and there's no way that they're not going to, take advantage of that. There's so many things behind the scenes, I think, that we just don't know about, that, like, either departments or something relating to our economy benefits from a bull market year, right? And so the 3 rate cuts, man, I don't know, but like I definitely think September for sure now, but yeah, heading into 2026, I think that, like, it seems like Powell, today's speech definitely seems like he's kind of like says, okay, I can't really fight it anymore at this point, right? Like there's not enough time to, and so they can't draw it out anymore. So I look, for me, this has been kind of like the hardest little stretch in we both had different moments of that, in since we came into the space, covering the space. But I can't wait for this relief to come. I feel like it's going to be a really good end of the year. So this today really did make my day, you know what I mean? And I feel like we're going to be heading into some strong bullish moments to finish the year.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually leaning towards the 3 now. I think we're gonna get the 3. If you would ask me yesterday, I would probably say, I don't know, maybe 2, maybe 1. But I think that if Powell cuts rates at the end of this year, he can really assess in January his next 3 months, right? So I think that potentially we're going to get this, rate cutting down. I mean, the 3 rate cuts only takes us down to 3.25. I mean, we're still pretty high in the sense of where we were the last 10, 15 years, right? So it's kind of one of those things where the next Fed could come in and take it down a whole another point from there. But I think Powell wants to hand this thing off in the best condition the country's ever been because he's all about legacy. And I think to do that, I think you have to cut rates this year, see what's happening in January, and then maybe do a little pause up until the next Fed.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he cares about his legacy, but I also think that
yeah.
he's probably cares a lot about like what his counterparts and his subordinates underneath him and stuff that are just advising him and giving him feedback and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's honestly had probably one of the hardest jobs the past 6 months of in the U.S.
4 years.
Yeah, well, especially the past 6 months because he's been getting tons of pressure from the administration.
True.
His own people that he felt like he was on the same page with made him feel like, hey, you gotta do it, and all these things. And so, but finally, I think this is gonna be just give him some relief and just be like, okay, look, man, it's that long stretch is done. Kind of like how I felt a little bit. Like that stretch is done. We're about to go into some relaxing stretches, hopefully, to finish the year.
100%. All right. Trump speaks at 12 p.m. today. Any ideas what you think he's going to say? I can't really hate on Powell at this point.
No, but I just hope he does not mess it up. Like this come on, man. Just like let us enjoy this gracious Friday that we've gotten so far and going into the weekend. So, if you want to say, he doesn't even need to add too much on top of it. Like just give us a neutral. I'm okay with that heading into the weekend. So
100%. Let's get the next part of this. Philippine Congressman Migs Villafuerte has filed a House Bill 421 proposing the establishment of a Philippine Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Could the Philippines be the next country to get a Bitcoin reserve? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, this is a big deal. And we talked about the nation states FOMOing in and all this stuff. And so it has to start somewhere, and this is the one of the places that's going to be up next, I think, but like we need to see more and more start to come into the headlines, and we'll know whenever it really starts to get that like hyper Bitcoinization and FOMO. And then at that point, I think like Bitcoin really just takes off because that affects institutions buying more, because then they're just like, oh, okay, it's happening. This globalization of Bitcoin hyperizations is happening, and we need more. We need more. We need more. So,
100%. We need more. All right, and the last part of this is Robinhood has outperformed the S&P 500 by a 30x in the past year. Crypto stocks, man, are destroying any type of a traditional investment at this point. So, I mean, they're destroying everything in crypto as well. I mean, only thing they're not beating is Ethereum and Bitcoin. So, I don't know. What do you think? Well, yeah, they are beating Ethereum and Bitcoin. No one's on 30x, but yeah, man, what do you think?
It doesn't surprise me, but it surprises me a little bit just because, this is not, I'm not used to this, but I think institutions in TradFi have said, okay, this is a part of our, world now. And they've adopted it, because I know more TradFi people are investing into this than crypto native people or Web3 native people. So that means that like traditional finance dollars are going into these companies. So that's a big deal in my opinion. And, I feel like this is a good sign for adoption, mass adoption. And what does it look like, in a year or two down the road? Because, before, if you go back like, let's say 15 years, right? We're talking about what is that? 2010, right?
Yeah.
15 years ago. Around that time, the biggest deal was like tech stocks. These social media tech stocks in general, Silicon Valley. In like 2-3 years, 5 years, is it like Web3 stocks? Is that like replace the tech stock kind of situation? And so it seems like it's starting to, at least.
Yeah. I agree. Only time will tell, but yeah, I'm really excited for this year. I'm really excited for, these crypto stocks. I mean, this is just huge. It's huge. It's funny though. You know what I noticed? Real world assets, it's kind of going the other way. They're taking crypto assets and bringing them over there. So it's like the opposite of RWA. because RWA is taking stuff from TradFi or the traditional markets in the crypto. TradFi is taking crypto and bringing it in the traditional stocks. So it's like the opposite of what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with you, but I do think there's going to be there's going to be like a point where whenever we're combining the world with we're getting the world to combine real world assets and digital assets to where they're like just they live, cohesively like together very well, to where you're not going to even notice it anymore. Like it's going to just be a way of life. That's the big change, I think. And because there's still tons of people that spend billions of dollars a year on collectibles, on like tangible things, right? But when you merge them together to make it more convenient for you to move them around in terms of value, that changes the game.
It really does. No, million percent. All right, guys, just so you guys know, we are doing a wheel spin today. If you want to be entered on this, all you have to do is put hashtag TK and then your Twitter handle. I need your Twitter handle because I need to know where to reach out to you, because I can't reach out to your YouTube. So I need your Twitter handle and TK. And if you're commenting from Twitter, just put TK, because obviously I have your Twitter handle. So so I'm trying to enter as much people. I know there's a lot of people I haven't got on this list yet. So if you see your name, you're in. And everyone else, I'm going to be doing that while Yagobi's doing the price action. So just so you guys know, so you have up until about probably before Jake joins us at 12:30. So probably you have it about to probably 12:15. You have 12 till 12:15 Eastern to get that in there. So just let you guys know. But let's move along. Binance founder CZ announced that BNB is now available for trading at RAKBANK, one of UAE's largest and most prominent banks. So right now it's Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, XRP, and now BNB. This is a big move, and this could be why BNB was moving up so aggressively over the last couple of days. People were kind of getting ready for that.
Yeah, BNB has just been really strong the past 6 months. I feel like we've heard it hit all-time highs probably 2 or 3 times in the last 6 months. In the last 12 months, maybe more. But we gotta really clump BNB in with these top assets. It is a top asset. It's the strongest asset in the Asia region, right? In terms of digital assets. So I'm not shocked here. I think it's going to be a popular asset even in the West, in the next 5 years, especially when things become more normalized and people talk about portfolios more on a regular, day to day. So no shock here. Also, it seems like BSC is picking up some volume too recently. I think I saw one of my buddies on crypto Twitter speak about like they're taking some volume away from Solana and some having some big runners on 4 memes. So the volume's always been pretty good there. They've been like kind of battling back and forth with Solana, but BNB is a strong, formidable asset, man. You can't go wrong with having it in your portfolio.
Cannot, man. Even at $800, crazy. So we should have known today was going to be bullish for this main reason right here. So on August 21st, which was yesterday, Ethereum Spot ETF recorded a net inflow of $288 million, turning positive after 4 consecutive days. They were buying yesterday for today. They knew they were getting at 4,100, right? We were all scared. We were all like, TradFi was like, no, this is what we do. We do not buy rips. We only buy dips, and they bought the dip yesterday, making money today. There's nothing I could say, but you have to be paying attention to what these TradFi guys are doing, because you can get your sense of what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely right. But I think it's because there's a difference of perspective. If we were only trading Ethereum, maybe like the top 5 assets, we wouldn't feel it as much. But the big deal is the fact that like a lot of crypto Twitter and a lot of the experienced people that have been in multiple cycles, they are kind of rolling their bets a little bit, right? With some of these potential 10, 50, 100x plays, and they get hit so bad. But you're right. If you were just to pay attention to ETH inflows and outflows, and you were only trading the top 5 assets, it wouldn't be as stressful. I mean, that's the honest to God truth, right? But at the end of the day, we wear shirts like this because we're degenerates, and we want to, have that similar experience that we've had in previous cycles, right? And it's going to come, but it might not be exactly the same, but there's going to be some sort of version of it. And, maybe depending on the individual and what their risk threshold is, maybe it is, a time to reassess, and maybe you should be a little bit more in some of the safer stuff, but then still have that. And then when the time gets closer to when, like to finish out the year, October, November, December, that's whenever that you can roll the dice a little bit more. Not financial advice, but just something I'm thinking about recently.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. This one I found weird. So say, basically, let me show you this real quick. Let me find it. Boop. Okay, so say blockchain, which is a Cosmos blockchain, added nearly 500,000 new users in the past 24 hours. This is not possible. There is not 500,000 users in crypto, period. Like I say that, like as being somebody who is here and sees the numbers, like there is not. This is total bullshit. Why do you think or people are creating all these fake addresses for Say? Because this is no chance in hell. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any chance in hell that is possible.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they are doing some sort of I don't know, address creation through emails or something like that. I don't know, but maybe they're preparing for something. But having a lot of addresses on a blockchain is something that you want to have. Is kind of like, do you fluff up the numbers though? Maybe that's what they're doing here. Maybe there was an approach similar like Midnight, right? Where like they just airdropped. They have all the addresses for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. They have a lot of addresses that have like balances on there, and they just airdropped a Cardano address version of them or something like that. That's related one-to-one to that specific Solana address. So you got to log in with your Solana wallet or so there's many ways to do this, but I see what you're saying. We feel that because we are in crypto Twitter. So we're like, where are all the 500,000 people at? Where's that liquidity at?
There's seriously the same 10,000 people in crypto Twitter. Like that's it. Like, and I feel like I'm being generous by saying 10,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so does that mean we're early though?
I just think we're in the stage of disbelief. People just don't believe that we're about to pump, right? They're just like, no way, I can't believe this. I think retail's about to enter, and they're about to enter, by the hundreds, maybe hundreds of thousands. We'll see.
Wow. Hopefully they stay.
Rapper Yeezy token has dropped over 70% in the last 24 hours. I hate this. I hate every part of this. This is the reason why they're not entering right now, because of scams like this, right? I mean, a Libre scam, this scam. So this is the type of stuff that TradFi looks at and they're like, I don't want to get in. But when you tell normies like, hey, just buy Ethereum. Buy, if you want XRP, go buy XRP. Like, there's no reason to buy this garbage like Rapper tokens.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like this was a legit token that he was a part of now, though, right? If you look at
is it a buy then?
Well, there's VCs involved, and then there's like a vested schedule, and so supposedly you're going to be able to use this token to be able to purchase on his store. We'll see how serious he takes it. Nevertheless, I think like the launching situation could be much better if he does take the serious, because like at the end of the day, if he's being serious about this and he's literally saying wants to make this token, legitimate in his store, and you can use it for other things with his brand and his culture, then basically, that's fine, because it does help with like making it mass adoption type of thing for Web3. But the launching of things like that needs to be handled differently, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
What would you do? Like, how do you, like, you know what I mean? It's easy to like just say that was wrong, and I'm the same way, because I do the same shit. But I'm trying to think of like, what's a better way for him to launch it? Do you think launching like pump funded on multiple exchanges and doing like a kind of like eligible wallet type thing? Like, how do you fix this type of stuff?
Well, I mean, they say that like most tokens aren't securities, but like, I don't know if you're launching it with like a corporation and stuff like that, and a brand, you're doing a new LLC and stuff. I'm not saying that it has to be a security, but maybe there's a new like
Well, it wouldn't be a
regulatory.
security because you're able to buy jeans with it. You can't buy jeans with security, so
So
it breaks down
maybe like
security laws
a
there.
regulatory, like maybe then CFTC maybe steps in
Yeah.
and says,
Yeah.
hey, look, man, this is cool that you're doing this, and this asset's gonna, if you want it to thrive and be a formidable asset in the digital asset industry, then you know, because it's associated to your brand and stuff,
Yeah.
here are some suggestions for how you should launch it, because you know you're gonna end up like
What
hurting a
would
lot
be
of.
on there though? Like I couldn't even come up with anything to be on the suggestion sheet.
Well, probably, you know, clarity, number one, that Yay
Yeah.
is in fact behind it. That should
I
be
got
his
you.
number one
Yeah.
thing. You know, there was definitely not that in the very beginning. Two, maybe organization, because that's the biggest problem with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Is chaos. Chaos creates emotional impulsiveness and
100%.
buying tops and stuff for people. You know, there's probably some whales, but they're whales. They can handle it, right? But they
Yeah.
probably threw like 50K, 100K at this at the top or whatever, right? I just think that there's probably like a social responsibility for someone as big as that to. But I mean, I'm for it if he's trying to actually build something big with this, right? So we'll see.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Well, speaking of, we need to educate. So a victim lost 783 Bitcoin, worth $91 million in a social engineering scam, impersonating exchange and wallet support, stolen funds, and being laundered via Wasabi. This is by ZachXBT. So imagine this millionaire. He's like, you know what? Maybe he bought like 5 years ago, he bought a bunch of Bitcoin. It's there. And then someone from Coinbase reaches out and says, hey, there's a problem with your account. This is and that. Give us, access so we can help you. And then they take all the shit. Right. And he's probably like, he's probably, obviously, if you keep your stuff on chain, you're level 1, which means that you're not self custodying your stuff. You trust Coinbase. So how do we stop this stuff from happening?
I mean, oh, dude, that's a lot of Bitcoin.
I know.
I think you got to really just be extremely educated, and then also test amounts. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got, like, you don't do all 783 Bitcoin. You know what I mean? But then it's like,
well, he gave them access to their Coinbase account, and they just took everything.
Yeah, I mean, but still, like, that's something that you and I would never do. You know what I mean?
No way.
And so it's like, what level of education do you have with how much value you own in terms of your digital assets, right? The higher value you have, the higher education you should have, which I know it doesn't always work that way, but I mean, and look, you and I could get, like, if it was a bad day for us or something, we could have a bad day and fall for something. But I just feel like that much, I would be like blocking off my calendar. I would be like, probably have like my closest like friends that are in the space, like 1 or 2 that like I'm constant, like maybe you be like, hey, I'm about to do this. What do you like? You know what I mean?
He didn't do anything. That's the thing.
But I mean,
he got a call and gave access to his account.
But that's what I'm saying is, though, like, you should know that they're not going to call you, because they say they won't call you for access to your account. They're not going to.
Yeah, but when you're an older guy, that's your life. Your bank calls you. You're used to that. That's the problem, is with normies coming in.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. And then also,
Coinbase need to do a better job.
Maybe they need to have some checks and balances on their end. I mean, if it's that large of an amount, right? Like, they should definitely have a flag, and then maybe text the account holder and say, hey, did you make this? I mean, my bank does that.
Yeah, no, 100%. What do you think about this? What do you think about? I come with this idea of an insurance company, so where Coinbase starts this up and they say, hey, if you have 100 Bitcoin, you can take out insurance on it. It'll be $600 a month or something like that, right? Or something crazy. But that if your Bitcoin is ever stolen, you get every one of those Bitcoin back. Would something like that help this?
How would you be able to? How would they be able to tell if it was fraud or not?
Well, I mean, if you get caught, you go to jail, just like in real life. I mean, that's the thing, right? So if
they're going to do everything in their power
to like
they're going to have a heavy investigation too. Yeah.
And normies won't be able to figure out how to launder it. They won't know where you know what I mean? Put it on chain, do this, do that, or maybe you can pay someone to do that for you. But I mean, but that's why, I'm saying, like, pay $600 a month, where it's worth it to Coinbase to kind of make sure that these things, and Coinbase could even do a donation thing to this as well, right? They make a lot of money. They could just be like, okay, we're putting the first 2 million into the insurance claims. You know what I mean? Or something there. So, but I don't know.
It might be a good. Yeah, I mean, like I'm sure there would be a company like that forms up because insurance companies know how lucrative that kind of business could be in an emerging, innovative industry, right? So they know that how much money they can make.
100%. All right. Let's get into that crypto fear and greed here. So this is skewed. So I don't even know if this is worth showing today, but last week we were at a 59. Yesterday we were at a 50. We're way lower than that. I'm just going to show you the number because I don't even want you guessing because it's just 46 and we're in the 60s right now, right? Like, what do you think today? 60s?
Well, it depends on how the rest of today goes, but I would say at least like a 54, 55. Yeah, I mean,
looking really good. I mean, look at this. Only thing down is Bitcoin dominance and DXY. These are the only two things I want to go down.
So I mean, probably like mid 50s for me until we get, further confirmation that this isn't just a, fluke. I mean, a big candle like this is definitely, something that could turn things around. I'm going to show something on the daily chart that kind of shows my point, but yeah, I'm excited about what this could mean for a Sunday, evening type of energy.
Let's get right into that. Really excited for that. So let's jump into the Bitcoin and crypto price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, these guys are building something special. I actually went long this morning on the Artura platform, made some money with that, and then I decided to go short like an idiot because I was trying to short the speech because I thought maybe he would say something wrong. I was wrong, lost money on that. So, but that's the game there. It was low money and did like $36. But the main reason why I did it was for the points, right? So Artura is giving away point system. Trading on there is worth it. Me losing that $36 or whatever it was means nothing to me because I know that if there is anything in the future, I'm going to make out like an absolute bandit when it comes to the low or 25x leverage, $30, like whatever, right? Just fun, throw it away. It doesn't really matter because I know the potential airdrop from Botonics alone with doing the largest Bitcoin airdrop ever to Botonics users. So Artura is on Botonics. So it's just win-win for me. I'm going to make out like a band. I highly recommend you guys do the same thing. You guys can go over to what is it? Bitcoin A21 2100 World. We have a full tutorial on our website. You can go in now on our website, on our YouTube page. You guys can hop in there, watch it. I walk you through how to get PUSD, how to do your first trade, everything. But I highly recommend every single one of you guys go do that, mainly because their trading competition is about to start, and that is going to be absolute insane points. And on top of the Botonics airdrop, really excited for Artura, really excited for Botonics, and really excited for you guys to make free money. And go check out Artura.finance today.
Absolutely, guys. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out on the YouTube side. Smash that like. And, of course, subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to OnChain Revolution, what are you doing with your life anyway? But, yeah, turn your notifications on so you know when we go live on X. Let's get this stream shared, guys. Let's get this space shared on both the OnChain Revolution side and the Trench Kitty side as well. And Abstract as well. We love that Abstract crew over there. Share the stream as well as Kick, Twitch, Spotify, and wrapping it up with Rumble. Let's get into some Bitcoin price action while Shizzy gets that wheel ready. And by the way, speaking of the wheel, we are giving away how many today? 300,000 Trench Kitty tokens. So 3 lucky winners will have a chance on the wheel to win 100,000 Trench Kitty tokens each. All you got to do is put hashtag TK and your Twitter handle in the chat, and you will be entered in the competition or the giveaway here. But let's get into some Bitcoin price action, starting with the hour chart. And this is going to be a bit skewed too, because I mean, we just had this huge, double green candle here, but this is really looking like a turnaround. Obviously we had a bleed out, man, starting in on Wednesday of the 13th of this month, right? So because Bitcoin, you have to remember Bitcoin was not necessarily being super hyper aggressive, but it did get to that new all-time high of 124 very briefly, and then turned around very dramatically in this like stair step down here. But as you can see, the dovish toned by Powell this morning has turned things around, and we have a 85, 86, 87% rate cut chance now in September, which is great for the rest of August. And for me, I was getting a little worried because I've been bullish about finishing out August. And maybe I'm wrong about September. Maybe we do have like a really good last week of August and a decent start to September with a little low in the middle. We'll see what happens there. But all right, let's take a look here. You can see the MACD is extremely bullish, and it's about time. I feel like, yeah, we had a little bit of bounce back yesterday, but it wasn't anything super great. And then we had the speech this morning, so we're starting this immense buy pressure, and we'll see how long it lasts. We didn't hang out in oversold territory very long. We barely touched over here on the hour chart, only to spring up this morning after that speech. But let's take a look at the support and resistance at the levels that we are currently at, because we're probably a little overbought, right? We're a little bit, just a tad bit, and I say that just because we jumped up like several thousand here, but at the 117 or 116 900 mark, let's pull in the data going back to 1 a.m. today. Let's see how we're doing here. All right, so we're losing the battle a little bit at the top, which is a high volume area, right? But our support is so strong right below that it's kind of ping ponging between 116 900 and 116 700. So a $200 swing back and forth here. And you see the support continues below that 116 500, and no volume right here, but dominated by support, right? So support kind of swings back to the resistance here at 116. So, right here we have the advantage. And if we can, keep that advantage in this area right here, and then start to get some more buy bids, and we can press up here, but it's going to be tough. There's a lot of volume here, and it seems like some of the sales are coming in. So we'll see. Maybe we have, but we're right under 117 though. We are right under 117. We'll see. We'll see if we can get some big buy bids to push us up, because there's not anything above this, right? So we'll see if that happens. And then maybe, not having much volume up here, we can really fly up pretty quickly, actually. Wouldn't be surprised if that happens, if we do get through this area and resistance fails to conquer right here. We could see a fly up to 117.5, 118, but we got to get through this high. This is the highest volume area that we're at right now. This is the highest volume area. So, we got to get through here with some really large buy bids, push through, and then see if we can kind of fly up in this area. I like where we are, because even if we do bounce back here, yeah, they take back over kind of again over here at 116. But below that, we got support, 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 we got support all the way through here, all the way through here. So I don't think it lasts very long. If we get here, it's just going to be a bounce down there. I think it gets popped right back up, or right here, I should say, and it's almost balanced anyway. So it's not like they have a huge advantage over there. Largest advantage right now that resistance has over support is this area we're at currently right now. But we're starting to catch up, which is really, really great. So really, really like this. Noah's dad, make sure that you put TK and your Twitter handle in the chat.
Well, he's on X, so anyone
Okay.
from X, I said I don't need a Twitter handle, obviously. So.
Gotcha. I just saw that in the corner of my eye, by the way. Yeah, so I actually feel pretty bullish here. I think that we can break through this level today, and we see 117.5, 118, and it really we don't know yet. We're gonna see where that next resistance level builds back up. I guess we could kind of look here on the hour chart and see where that probably would be. We're looking here like 118. We get past one. All these levels right now, we're just getting past this one right here. So the next one would be 118. Yeah. So it could look really good. Looking at the 4-hour chart here, obviously we got yanked out. The 4-hour chart was one that we really were in sell pressure for a very long time. Since the 14th, we didn't have very much breathing room at all. This little bit of buy pressure right here on the 17th didn't last long at all. And then we had some yesterday, as you saw in the 1-hour too. But now we get to start some strong buy pressure for the 4-hour chart, which is always a good thing, because that usually lasts a long time as well. So especially if we get that strong buy pressure, right? We'll see. I kind of don't love that it started on a Friday morning, because tomorrow is just going to be Saturday. But we can get a really bullish Sunday evening or Sunday, sometimes it's both morning and evening. We'll see if that happens. But the 4-hour looks really good. Looks like we're heading back to the overbought territory. We didn't really stay up here very long, so might hang up here for a bit, because I do feel like if we do try to go for an all-time high this time with Bitcoin, I think we pass it like convincingly. Like we maybe get to that 128. That would be great range, and I think that's okay to kind of get to 128 and hover between 124 and 128 until it's ready to go again, or maybe we say pull back in September. But yeah, 4 hour looks really great above the 50-day EMA as well. So a lot of good things I'm seeing right now. Looking at the daily here, this is a very strong, obviously strong daily candle, but you know, we've seen this type of candle turn things around. We saw it right here, right back on the 23rd of June. You know, we were having a pullback after some a decent pull up right here where we got to 110, and then we pulled all the way back with a strong wick down here at 97, only to start our ascension back up, right? And this was the really big one. This was the one that started in June 22nd, on June 22nd, and we got all the way back to 120, or we hit a new all-time high actually on the 14th of July. So does Bitcoin start that next rise up? We will see, but it's very similar to this, because if you look here to kind of end this, and I know we didn't have like a ton, this was like a bit back to back with an up and then a new lower low right here, as you see back from this early June to that June 22nd that I just talked about, and then you start up again and you start to rise up again. But look where the similarities are. It basically took us, you know, coming below the 50-day EMA back up barely. It's almost the exact same situation if you look at the 50-day EMA right here. So whenever we found that, we came and kind of found this new low right here, this floor, it was almost in the exact same location as the 50-day EMA right here, right? And then what happened once we busted above it right here? If we can finish today's candle in that same area, I feel really good, man. I feel really good. Now, it's not always going to play exactly out that way, but I'll tell you, man, I'll take this pattern for now, for especially, you know, the past couple of days that we've gotten. So I think it is important for us to finish today above the 50-day EMA, though. So it's looking good on the daily. Plus, it looks like we're trying to come out of this sell pressure on the MACD as well. So daily chart looks really good. Let's look at Ethereum. Wow, this is crazy, bro. I mean, this is a crazy candle, bro. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I hate my new mouse. It automatically just scrolls it. Look at this. It's just doing this AWOL. All right. All right. So let me get readjusted here. Okay. You see this huge candle. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Yeah, so the hour chart looks great. Really, I mean, do I really have to go over too much here? You know, kind of similar situation, except for I think Ethereum has a little bit more ability to be hyper aggressive, as it has shown it is ready to be in the strength zone. Plus, everybody is talking about Ethereum with news headlines, ETF inflows. There was a headline yesterday that Bitcoin actually had sell off with their ETF, while Ethereum had a larger inflow. And so, you know, that's still the main kind of theme right now. Now, Bitcoin will do Bitcoin things. It will rise up like it's kind of doing right now, but Ethereum is still kind of the main character right now, in my opinion. And I think it will show some extra strength here. You see the dominance kind of going down as well. Ethereum, I mean, this green candle is amazing looking here. So I think it's kind of play out today is very similar to Bitcoin's, but maybe even with a little bit more upside on it, because it did pull back pretty hard. I think we got to this past week, the low we got to was like 4,050 or something. So, you know, we're $600 up from that low. So we'll see how long this continues over here. Let's look at some support and resistance on this one as well. Going back to, I want to go back a little bit more. All right, let's go back to midnight here. So where we are. All right, this is the 1 hour chart, and you can see just complete domination in all areas, even currently. So like Bitcoin, when I was just looking at, we were kind of losing the current price point a little bit. Ethereum's just whipping tail. Look at this. I mean, where we are, 46.55, dominating. Right below that, 46.40, dominating. Right below that, this is where it gets a little bit more balanced out at 4,600, 46.20, and then below that, dominating. Supports dominating. So I mean, it looks really strong for Ethereum. So you know, I'm really bullish on Ethereum. We could see an attempt at all-time high today. We could. But you know, that is if the bullish energy of today continues forward, that would be amazing for me. I think, you know, if we actually challenge that 4860 and we could push through to 4900 and maybe flirt with 5,000, that would be huge for Ethereum and our space in general. So looking pretty good there. Let's get to the crypto bubbles, guys. All right, crypto bubbles here. Everything looks great.
Green.
There's literally only 1-2 things that are red, and you know, OKB has
ran
had
yesterday.
Oh, no, they've ran this entire week while everything was red, right? So it's okay. They're only pulling back 5.2%, and you know what that tells me too. A lot of these whales that were in heavy profit realized, hey, it was time to kind of rotate into something that like I can make a lot more money on. So I'm not worried about OKB. It's pulled back 5.2%, and the other lonely one here is Leo, which is down 1%. Then you got a bunch of green. Let's start with the memes here. SPX up 13%. You got Pepe up 6.4%. You got Dog Whiff pulling up 6.5%. Doge pulling up 7.7%. Flocky pulling up 7.5%. Shiba Inu pulling up 4.6% there. And then you got Trump Coin pulling up 5.2%. And Pump pulling back up 4.6%. Let's see where the price is on this 0.003034. Okay, so it's pulling back up here. Let's hit some of these utility tokens. Aerodrome is up 16.7%. That's a nice drive back up for sure. Say is up 8.6%. I wonder if you know, the address headline had anything to do with that. Hex is pulling up 5.6% here. You got Hyperliquid pulling up 6.5%. AVAX up 6% there. Tau pulling up 5.8%. You got Caspa up 7.6%. HBAR up 7.3%. ICP pulling up 3.8%. Tron pulling up 2.4%. Uniswap pulled up 7.6%. Virtuals pulling up 7.7%. Optimism up 6.6%. Kronos up 9.5%. And our infamous Fartcoin is up 8.9%. And when Fartcoin is up, all is good in the world of crypto. And what else we got here?
The trenches.
Yeah, the trenches for sure. I was thinking about that yesterday, and I told you about it this morning. You know, if the trenches are really suffering, look at Fartcoin's price. And I looked, and it was 82 cents. It was back to 82 cents. It's already back probably to 95. Let's take a look here. 95 cents. Wow, right on the head. So 95 cents there. So that's good. Let's hope this continues here. Sui's up 7.1%. BNB up 4.6%. XDC up 2.4%. And guys, remember, as always, if you want me to take a look at any of the altcoins on the crypto bubbles, all you got to do is drop it in the chart or in the chat, and I will get to it. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. You got MOG up 15.8%. Dog family is up 8.9% there. Brett up 12.7%. Turbo up 7.9%. Mew up 8.8%. What else we got here? Starknet up 4.7%. Popcat up 5.3%. Gala up 6.8%. Luna Classic up 3.5%. Toshi up 7.6%. Kava up 2.6%. Memeland up 8.3%. ZK up 7.9%. Pulse up 1.4%. Snek to the Cardano Snek meme coin army. You guys are up 10.1% there. And then Zora bouncing back at an increase of 8.3%. And look at Troll. Troll is up 35.3%. This thing is heading back to $300 million market cap. Man, the people that really held on to that token, first of all, why? Secondly, congratulations, because this thing got down, man. It got down pretty low. You know, I know it was the rise up. I always say 700,000, but I think it got down to like 100, 150. But imagine just forgetting about that, and you're just like, I think it might go up, and then next thing you know, it's at like 200 million, bro. Like that's a great day for somebody.
100%, dude. That's incredible, and that's why you don't potentially give up completely. Like, especially when you think something's dead, you may just hold it for a little longer, right? Kind of see what happens with that. But there's one price action you didn't get into. That is Trench Kitty. Now it's up. I remember earlier. So huge buys just came in. $900 from this guy. Shout out to this guy. So yeah. See what happens here. I do think, again, we do hit this lineup here, maybe with a pullback, and then Sunday we start ripping again. But Trench Kitty, baby, on Solana is rolling right now. Let's go.
Absolutely. Trying to bring HODL culture back, and that is the main objective, along with community building, of course.
Yep. And speaking of TK, you guys are running out of time here. I'm gonna add. I still have to add a few more names, but you have a really good chance at winning. There's three different people are going to win this. So 3 different chances of winning 100K TK Rune. It'll be on the Rune side. Arid, I still have to add you, but I think I got everyone else up here. If you don't see your name up here, please let me know in the chat. I'll make sure I add you guys for sure. Mur, I got to add you as well. Don't worry, I'm going to add you. So, but yeah, man, let's kind of get into the roll call here. Where is that roll call banner? Got it. All right. So on the show, we do a thing called First is First. We take the first comment of the show and we put it on a spreadsheet. And that first comment today is my man, Tim Baker, AODR himself. He got it, man. He has his 4th win of the year. Congratulations to you. Absolutely amazing. Huge, 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 huge. So shout out to Tim Baker. Followed up by Nighthawk was right behind him, a few minutes right behind him. Says GM Tim, what the F he says. Shout out to you guys. We got Abstract in here. What's up, guys? What's up, Abstract? K99 is here. Bitcoin is Truth is here. Level Up Tech, my guy. Love your work. Yeah, thanks, man. Really appreciate you being here. Spindrift is here. Lackey Lukey, my guy. Vader Time is here. Joko is here. I got you. I added you for sure. Alpha Gamer, I added you. Chief X, so I know you're on there. Crypto Slow, my dude. What's up, bro? TK, we got to do another stream. Crypto Slow. Last one we did was pretty cool. He says, when is Trench Kitty getting an AI neural implant? I don't know, but it'll probably be a Tuesday. I just don't know what Tuesday. Choda is here. Shout out to Choda. Says, let's have him go. Send TK to the moon. That's send TK to the moon. He's like, think about keeping some of that 35% TK on the Sol. Yeah, it's all going to the Bitcoin runes. We want, so right now it's 60-40. At 60% of is on Solana, the 40% is, we like that. We actually want to get it closer to 50-50. And that's what we're doing. We're going to be doing cool stuff over there as well, staking and stuff like that. So a lot of it's going to staking, 90-day lockups, rewarding long-term holders for sure. Stan says TK is the most interactive token in the universe. Let's go. Stan, I don't have your Twitter handle again. I should have saved your Twitter handle because you're very active in here and I always want you to be on there, man. Patty Poo is here. Says, sup, TK. Yeah, man. Crypto Slow again. He says the green candle is pricing a September cut. Yes, it is. Stan says Powell smashed the market today. DCA. Yeah, if you have a constant DCA strategy, you're making out always. Muhammad Yuri said, haven't really been around these past days. Could you please go over how to partake in the TK and X stuff? Not really sure what they mean here.
So Milan, I'm not sure if you are a member. Is Milan a member?
I don't know.
Yeah, if you are a member, then make sure you watch the members video that we released today. We also did one 2 days ago. You can just watch that one instead. It's up to you. But either if you are a member, then you'll get the details on how you can get involved with that. Other than that, you can purchase TK directly on Solana. There is on our website. It shows you how to do that. Also, on Magic Eden on the Bitcoin side. So that's how you get in, the token. Other than that, go follow the X account and the community account on the X account. So those are the 2 things that, we are using to grow this community and really, evangelize Trench Kitty with.
Yeah. I'm going to say it again. Anyone who buys on Magic Eden, you're added to a list. So one buy, and there's some like $20 down here, stuff like that. So anyone who buys is going to be rewarded on the Bitcoin side. We want to kind of get a lot of the we got to get Trench Kitty on the front page of Magic Eden. That is the ultimate goal here, and we're going to do everything in our power to make that happen. So we want it to be the #1 token in Solana and Bitcoin together. So Crypto Slow says 3 to 4% magic zone for housing. Yeah, I think it's actually closer to 2.5. I think 2.5 to 3.5. But I think you're right, though. You're right there. And auto, yeah. Well, yeah, 6 to 7 car loans are unaffordable. Yeah, I know people do.
I feel like that's
23%, dude. Like, I don't know. I think that's fair.
Well, I think 20% for car loans is high. 6 for 6. They're always higher than like
way
homes.
Yeah.
They're always higher than homes, but like I think 6 to 7% is more like decent, isn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I've never got a car loan that cheap. My car loan's usually between 9 and 11.
Yeah, that's a pretty. If you have that, man, Crypto Slow got like a $10,000
Oh
credit
yeah,
score.
my man, he does shit right for sure. Stance's dry powder day for sure. Crypto Sosa's $1 million house is 77,000 a month at current rates. That's a lot of money a month, man. I couldn't imagine that for sure. Patty Poo says I got added you. I added you. Stan says nominate Tom Lee for a Nobel Peace Prize. I'm down. Lars, please talk about the airdrop soon. Again, it's members, so join the members over there if you're interested in that. But don't think it's like it's not going to be a high number, guys. It's going to be a very low number. But so the trick is to take whatever we give you, the small amount, and stake that. That is how you're going to be able to accumulate. That is the whole point of that airdrop is for you to take that and go stake it on Fluid, and that'll give you the big amount later. So that's rewarding long-term holders of 90 days. So Stan says Say's dev is a king hacker. I agree. Nighthawk UXL says, at what time do you want us to pump TK? Superfan will lead the way. I mean, around 12 p.m. Eastern would be perfect, if you don't mind that. Matt says, here's GM green candles everywhere. The other guy added you, Noah. He said, wait, what? I missed that. But put that 50K where you're good. You're at it. Buenos Ideas is here, my guy. Appreciate you for sure. Noah's dad's I got you, and the added stuff. Guys, would you consider bringing Trench Kitty on base? If we bridge to base, we technically would be available on Coinbase. So the only problem is we have to add liquidity to Aerodrome.
Yeah.
And right now we're kind of strapped for that liquidity, but down the line, that's something, I wouldn't mind doing personally to make those fees. But right now that's kind of hard. But we did talk to RunesMine, and if they said, hey, if you want to go to base, we'll take you to base. So that same bridge that's taking you to Bitcoin could potentially take you to base. And if you're somebody who, you want to add liquidity over there to TK, 100%. Like I'll personally supply the TK if you supply the USDC for sure. K is here. I got you, brother. You're on there. Crypto slogans to smart whales out note to accumulate TK. Yes, Crypto Slow, my guy. Johnny Gonzalez is here. Shout out to you, my friend. DJ Clitty Litter is here. And we got Pro Crypto. It's time for a rune run. I hope so, man. I really do. Johnny Gonzalez says, I have so many questions, but don't want to. But, dude, throw them in, bro. Throw them in. We'll answer anything you got, brother. Anything you need. So just let us know everything. So, but more comments helps our algorithm. The stronger the algorithm is, the more people see it. It's a win-win for everybody. So just throw your questions in there. We'll get to them as we see them as well. But all right. Let's jump to our next segment here, which is it's becoming one of my favorite right now. Let's throw it over. I'm going to make my videos, I promise. But let's throw it to our correspondent over there in the trenches. What is up, Trench Kitty?
Guys, it's tough out here. No easing up. The weak hands won't let anything run.
Is that kind of how you're feeling too right now over there in the trenches?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it does feel like that, but like it's because what's going on with this? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, but you have to remember, like, this is what, I think, like, you're talking about, like, Fartcoin at 82 cents yesterday, right? And I felt like I'm hoping that was, like, the low sentiment for, basically for the trenches. But the problem is that, like, even whenever the sentiment does change from the market perspective, it takes a little bit of time from what I've seen, for people to start getting their confidence back in the trenches. But like, so I'm kind of just watching right now to see, if anything sticks, because that's the problem. Nothing has been able to stick. I mean, you can, I use GM. I talk about that a lot just to kind of prospect, but like, you're still not seeing very much stuff stick. It's still a lot of, junk that comes through. I mean, look, I've talked about this many times before. You're talking about 90, 95, 96% of this is going to be zero junk. And whenever things are good, that might be like 93%. So you move up a couple percentage, but you have, when it does move up, you do have people willing to gamble more because they're either making money from Ethereum, they're making money from Solana, they're making money from these other areas. So they can get past the sniper bots, the traders, the cupsies, the orangies, the, hundreds of traders that basically are going to beat you no matter what at that first level. You just can't beat them, right? And kind of look at it like this: like Cupsy's like a top 10 COD player or something like that. That's like, you know, when you're a COD player, you're fast, you're moving around, stuff like that. That's how these guys are. Their minds move so fast. Because I was trying to figure out, I was like, how do they do this? But then I track some of their wallets, and they're like in and out. They take losses. They're fine to taking losses because they know that, you know, their wins are going to outweigh them. And their strategy is so routine that like they take loss after loss after loss, and then win, loss after loss. So they're just very fast. You can't coins can't survive in bearish times with those guys because they have to make their money, you know, and then no one has confidence to kind of push through that. And that's why we haven't seen any of these coins stick. Last night there was a token called Sandwich. You told me about it because you started getting a little degen.
Yeah, I was over there real quick though. I was over there and I just opened the GMGN and I saw it at 100K, and I hit the Twitter thing, and I saw a lot of people talking about it. This could run. So I went and I put 0.25 in there, right? And I was just like, that's all you got to do, guys. You don't got to go a full Solana. And I got out at 180, and then it ran to 15 million, or what is it, 1.5 million?
Yeah, 1.5 million. Yeah, so that's the thing is that like even yesterday's runner was the Sandwich guy, right? And it was based off of this guy that used to work for the federal federal police, I think, or something. And after the current administration kind of put in the federal police to take over DC to kind of help with the crime and stuff, there was protests about pushing back, and then he grabbed a Subway sandwich and then he threw it at one of the federal officers. and then after that, like someone made a mural of him in DC, and then so it started to go viral. And to me, I think that's honestly, I think that's kind of a piss poor narrative. I don't think it's great, but they took it and it ran. But my point is that like a narrative runner for the day, whenever things are decent, you're talking about $2 to $5 million. This thing couldn't get past 1.5, and that was actually it did good. It actually did good because other ones
amazing.
Yeah, for other ones haven't been able to get past 1 million or sustain past 1 million. Now, at the end of very late last night, early this morning, Sandwich guy was back to 400K, and that's what I'm talking about. Right. Then I looked at Farcoin and I was like, oh, okay, 82 cents, and then I put I'm starting to put these puzzle pieces together. And one of them is you have the Cupsies, you have the Orangies, you have I track about 10 different really profitable traders. And I think there's probably maybe 150 to 200 of these guys, and you're talking about a daily profit on the very low end, $5,000 to $15,000. On the high end, right whenever it's bearish, on the high end, probably right at 6 figures, maybe lower or something like that. No, probably 50 grand maybe between there and 6 figures. But my point that I'm making is that the people that are going to push these coins to stick and then have higher market caps are not those guys. Those guys are deterrents of those coins ever having life. But in a bear market, that's why they don't have life, is because they crush them. And the other people, regular people that are more into okay, I want to see this thing go to 5 million, possibly 10 million. They're very bearish because they're Bitcoin's pulled back, market cap, Bitcoin and Ethereum's pulled back, in terms of the price action and market cap and stuff like that. This is the highest risk. I'm not going to get into that, but it gets better. Than there's more of those people that push through those sniper bots and traders, because that's what you got to get through. And they're in every coin that has any type of action at all. So I hope that makes more sense for people that are man, the trenches are cooked. They're cooked because of there's no one to help push past these sniper bots and these high performing traders like Cupsy and Orangey and stuff. And I also learned they love the Bags app, because Bags app always gives action in the beginning because there's a goal. But once that goal's done, they make a lot of profit out of those. And then once they kill the coin, it's the goals reached either with the trading fees or whatever. You can't have longevity. Bags app, I think, is going to die because unless Finn changes the structure, the model, because you can't just set, oh, I'm raising money for Kanye, collect your fees. You might get action in the beginning, or I'm raising money for water for Mr. Beast, and the goal is to raise 100K. Oh, well, what happens after you hit that goal, or as you're on your way? You know what I mean? Like, there's no incentive. There's nothing else. You know, so these are a few things that I am learning about the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best one would be a buyback, right? If we hit this goal, we do a buyback and burn. I mean, that would be something. And you set multiple goals, right? And then you use the rewards for those goals.
Yeah, because yes, I think that that's a good idea, but I think you have to hit milestone goals of like market caps and sustaining market caps. And I know that he's tried to. He's like, if you can maintain $1 million market cap, this was like maybe like a month ago, for 24 hours, then you get 100K, right, as the creator of the coin, which I think that was actually really awesome. If you know, prize considered, the creator rewards are so small for other stuff, but anyways, but it's because they have such a hard time sustaining these market caps, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to change it up. You got to do something like you said, either like a burn back or something like that. And you know, you got to create.
I actually love that name. I think you created that. No, a burn back. I love it.
Oh yeah, burn back. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
We should make a coin called burn back. No,
yeah, so that's what's going on right now in the trenches. Is just kind of, if we do continue this bullish energy with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you start to see Fartcoin kind of get back. Ethereum just crossed over 4,700, so it's starting to push up, because it was stuck at like 4,650 to 4,700, and then Bitcoin was kind of running. So Ethereum looks like it's starting to make its push. But you noticed when I was going over the support and resistance at that top level, Bitcoin had a little bit of trouble at the very top. Ethereum was dominating at the top.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's playing out a little bit of how I see. But back to the trenches here. I'm just paying attention now. Are some of these tokens sticking? You know what I mean? Are we starting to see some of the people that I was talking about that can push through the bots that dump on everybody to get it to that next level? Are they putting liquidity in? I think we need a little bit more conviction from ETH and then Solana as well. So see.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. 100%. All right, if we got no more names in the chat, let's. Do you have anything else for the trenches, or?
No, that's pretty much it. You know, going. Yeah, that's kind of my perspective on it right now, and just kind of observing and watching, not trying to like get too excited about anything.
Yep. He said, keep an eye out for the multiplier app coming soon. It will convert gamification of attention.
Yeah, we need something. We need something different, you know, because at the end of the day, those traders, elite traders, they are the reason why we don't have hodl culture, really, is because they kill coins before you can have any momentum, and it scares other people to get in. Unless we're in an extra bullish time period, which, you know, people have that liquidity to push past them. I mean, I literally witnessed it. I experienced it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
100%. All right, let's take it over to the wheel, guys. So if you are on this wheel, and if you got a few seconds, if you do not see your name on here, then let me know. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to give a quick overlook of make sure I got all the names, and I'm almost positive I got every single one of you guys. So I'm going to get ready to spin this. But if you don't see yourself, let me know. Is there a comment coming in? That's it. All right. So let's spin this thing. So hold on, I'm giving it a shuffle first. Give it a shuffle, couple shuffles, and then we'll go.
Good luck.
I do like the shuffle button. It's pretty cool. Oh DJ my god, that was close.
First time.
Shout out that clip. I'll put that in the chat just to make sure I have that. Congratulations, DJ. I'll be reaching out to you, my friend. All right. Let's remove you now for the next spin. Let's go. There it is. CZ0 Art. Shout out to you, my friend. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
All right, final one. Let's give this another shuffle here. And let's spin it again. Noah's dad. Congratulations to you, my friend. Absolutely amazing. I think you won yesterday as well. But hey, you guys can win every day. If you just all you got to do is show up, put some comments in the chat, and let's go. Shout out to DJ. And guys, either reach out to me on X or I'll reach out to you if you don't. But it's easier just reach out to me. Like, yo, Shizzy, I won, or like, yo, where's my TK at? And I'll make sure I get you guys each 100K TK. Congratulations to each one of you guys. And remember, Monday, all next week, we're doing the same thing, guys. We're doing the absolute same thing. So just come in here. All you have to do, it's the simplest thing to enter, is either come in with your Twitter and put TK, or if you come in with your YouTube, put your Twitter handle and TK. That's all you got to do to enter this. So congrats everybody who won. Congrats. And again, the winners are DJ Clitty Litter, CZ0R, and Noah's dad. Shout out to every single one of you guys. Really appreciate you guys coming in here each and every day and watching our show. But that is the news from the trenches and the wheel spin.
Yep.
So,
good. There's a couple comments in the chat here. I want to address. So it looks like Johnny Gonzalez says, "Do we have a white paper or a roadmap?" No, we don't. It is a meme coin. It's a community coin, but we are basically that. We're a show Monday through Friday. We live stream from the Trench Kitty account, so you guys always can hear from us. Always can ask questions in the chat. You know where to find us, right? So, there's things that we've announced. Always look at the website. For example, there will be an announcement section there. But fluid tokens, we've already announced that to be able to stake, and then also bridging over from Solana to Bitcoin and back to Solana, by the way. So,
and we are making a project for something else. So potentially we could do something really awesome for the people who have TK. We're really bullish on this RWA project that we're creating. We've been working on it for February, January, really, right? So, and that'll be probably coming within a month or two. We can probably start talking about that soon, honestly, when that time is right. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. It'll be on Merlin chain. So anybody who's on Bitcoin, should be easy enough for us to find your address. If you hold it over there or Solana, we can do something that type if the more you hold. But we'll definitely do more giveaways. We're building multiple projects. Really, we're in talks with different teams. So the TK, as Shizzy and Yagobi win, the TK holders will win. We can almost guarantee that.
Yeah. Johnny Gonzalez says, "When do you guys feel comfortable starting a marketing run or shum?"
I mean, we are the marketing.
Yeah. Not sure what you mean by that, but be active in the X account. Put comments on the timeline. It's okay. You can ask questions in there. I'm not sure what you mean by campaign or marketing, but we talk about it every day on our show. There's different things that we've talked about, Shizzy and I, maybe doing some boosts as well. And the community, also, you guys are the marketing as well. So you guys need to help grow the community. That's a big part of it. Banners on Dex tools. Yeah, that's what I figured that he was talking about, doing boosts and stuff like that. Yeah, we could definitely talk about stuff like that. And, the ideas, that's what I posted about those things in the X community. I said, just drop your ideas in the pinned post. I believe it was. Maybe if it's not pinned, it's one that's the past 2 days. But I'll comment in there for ideas as well. We'll have like a think tank situation going on.
100%. So, all right. I got a few more things here. So this is pretty wild. Let me make sure I have it up here first. Okay. So shout out to Francis Dhun. Francis Dhun Uncensored, his YouTube channel. He's somebody that we've been following for a long time. We're good friends with him as well. Sometimes we're friends and sometimes we're enemies, but that's Francis for sure. But I love Francis. But he posted this today, and I want to get your opinion on Yago. So the graph looks worse than a Solana rug VADER. So he is talking about the base VADER. This is something that was they basically airdropped you if you held and staked VADER. There's still tons of people that are staked, and it went from 16 to 7 in a matter of, I don't even know, a few hours. But what do you think about this? What do you think about VADER? Kind of rugging here. It feels like 7 million still doesn't feel bottom, but what do you think?
Yeah, so I think that's unfortunate that happened, right? He had some issues with the people from VADER. I think like he was going back and forth with some of them, so it was kind of a situation that I felt like he was trying to warn people about as well, because his community at least. And I just couldn't believe, like, is it fully rugged? What's the market cap at right now?
7 million. Oh, I don't know right now. I have to check the deck.
Yeah, but it dropped to 7 million right there. So it's not necessarily fully rugged or anything like that, but it doesn't look good, right? I think that's the biggest thing. It doesn't look good, and it's almost kind of like the back and forth that he had with their team is a little bit of a forecast of what was to come. So
Yeah.
it looks like it bounced back some, right?
Yeah, backed up to 10 million.
What did it drop
what is-
from?
I mean, if you want to talk about a few days, I mean, this thing
No,
was up
that big red candle.
25 million, but yeah, it dropped. It went from in one day. It went from 16 to 7 back to 10.
Okay, 16 to 7 back to 10. So I guess it's not too bad now because it's rebounded some, but I guess yesterday.
Take a look at the daily though. I mean, this looks terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely does look pretty bad, but it also goes to show I know Solana gets a lot of slack for being, the rug chain or the most degen chain, but this can happen on base, this can happen on BNB, this can happen anywhere. And you just got to be aware because like VADER was really, projected to be one of the top projects there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like, this is something that you got to be careful about. We've known that, if you're in previous cycles, you and I know that this kind of stuff happens, but oh man, it just sucks when it does, because if you went back to the virtual days, would you consider VADER a top 5 project on there?
I'm going to say top 5. I'll go top 10.
Top 10?
Because you got to remember there was game. There was, a couple of the AI agents that ran really well in the beginning. And then VADER was probably, I would say VADER was in the not 8, 9, 10 range. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of really cool stuff over there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like it was it was definitely the kind of, what was it called? The mutual fund or whatever, like not the mutual fund, the investment portfolio AI token, right? So basically they invested in all the other AIs that were solid and would distribute rewards that way. And so it was like one of those that just sounds really, really good. But them having that drop off was I mean, it just looks really bad. You know?
100%. 100%. All right, I got a couple more banners here. Okay. Binance will launch HEMI Pre-TGE and Booster events. Pre-TGE token sale will begin on August 22nd. So we've been talking about HEMI for a while. HEMI is going to be doing an airdrop. So anyone using the HEMI chain, Binance is saying, hey, we're going to basically list this thing. I've actually said that a while ago. If you remember, I was like, yeah, they're probably going to list it. And they are. It does look like they'll be listing it August 22nd. Which is today. You can get the pre-TGE, and then it'll probably be listed next week. Are you bullish on this Bitcoin L2 called HEMI? It's okay to say no.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I mean, they're gonna list them, so they believe in them, right? And I feel like the layer 2 meta really hasn't hit hard yet. We obviously believe in Merlin because we know that team, we know the grind that they put in. They're not relying basically only on the Bitcoin layer 2 meta to have success. Are these other chains doing that? Because like we know Jeff, we know his motivation, we know his ambition that he has, and so it's kind of like he's willing to go super far and create his own success without clinging on to that meta. The other ones, that I'm not sure, some chains they kind of just give up, right? So that's why I'm in between. This Binance is obviously backing them, so they have a lot of belief in them. We'll see if it plays out. What about you? I'm curious about your opinion on them.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy it personally, the token, but I would definitely. I've done stuff over in HEMI. I've done dexes. I messed around, so I'm gonna get a nice airdrop of that. I might hold it. Kind of see what happens. So I mean, if you are a member, we talked about that in our member video a while back, how to potentially partake in the HEMI airdrop. So it's just a bunch of different little mini games and stuff I played. There was like this little squirrel thing and stuff like that you had to do like missions for, which was like go to your Telegram, go to your Discord, go to your thing, stuff. It's just stuff like that. Follow, put comments in the Discord. You gain some points there. So like I said, I'm going to get a part of this airdrop. It doesn't look like there was so many users. It looked like there was like 2,000, 3,000 users on this thing. So I hopefully if we get a big portion of this, that'd be nice. A few $1,000s would be great right now. But that's what you do. I mean, when you're chasing these airdrops like I do, I mean, you're well positioned in this stuff. So for me, I actually might hold this token. So
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely do well. They, I imagine that they're, they have the connections. I'm sure that there's a decent amount of builders that are interested to build on their chain because of their relationship with Binance. We'll see how that plays
yeah.
out, though. Binance and
100%.
Coinbase are both they rolled the dice on some of these Bitcoin layer 2s. So
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump into a runes market update here. So what are you kind of thinking? So we got dog right now, back near that 003, which it got, dude, this thing got down to like 2.4. Like it was bad. It got really bad here. Let's jump to the 7-day because it's still probably red on the 7-day. Yeah, a little bit. Gizmo's up 23%. Runecoin had some event or something, but it it didn't do that well. Let's go back to the daily. I think the daily is better. But yeah, Runecoin's popping a little bit more too today. But then we have Billy up 6%. Rad Tarded it's up 21%. Shout out to those guys over there doing a great
almost
job.
to 1 million,
with that
yeah.
community. Almost to 1 million. So good for him. Lobo's at 9.5. Let's jump into the top 25. We definitely want to get TK. That's the whole point, guys. Why I'm going to be rewarding people who buy TK on Magic Eden because I want TK to be up here in the volume. Let's do our best to do that. We got a couple of them. This is a Tether USDT. Puka is around 210. I want to get above Puka for sure. Oh, there he is. He's here.
Nice. Number 30.
Let's go. $74. Like, come on, guys. Let's push this up. Go buy on Magic Eden if you're gonna buy it. I know the market cap's a little higher over here. I can't tell people to go buy that right now, like because unless people list, I want people to go list there because right now the market cap for Magic Eden is like 250 or something. Yeah, 267. So it's like one on I think TK over here. It's 175 now, so that's not too bad, but still. But if you do buy over here, I'll reward you. I'll definitely pick up the difference, and I'll send you some of my personal TK. We just need volume on Magic Eden. We want to make sure that we are on the front page here. Maybe in the top 20 would be amazing. But right now, 30, I'll take 30. I mean, this thing's been a Bitcoin rune for like 4 days, not even 2 days.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm happy.
Exactly.
I'm happy with that. So. But yeah,
Dude,
I'm gonna get the
and just to kind of clarify something, like typically it's hard to even see one sell whenever someone's bridging from like a different ecosystem. I remember, coming from Odin, I didn't see very many sells like some of the bigger tokens. So it's really about the community educating and letting people know that they can purchase on the Bitcoin side.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. People were telling me yesterday, like, oh, I didn't even know you could buy it on Bitcoin. Yeah, it's over there. It's over there. It's hanging out. But are you bullish on these runes going forward, especially like Dog and Mim and Gizmo and Billy? I mean, Mim and Gizmo, Billy and Gizmo could be going Kraken next week. That's what I'm kind of thinking. But what do you think about the rest of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, I think Billy has a lot of upside. Gizmo as well, because we both know that they're both going to get listed on there. So I do think Billy's next. But yeah, look, whenever Runes was getting listed on Kraken, it wasn't like a complete like all season surge or anything.
Yeah.
So I think people's expectations were just not correct. They were skewed based on, okay, now they're on Kraken, now we're going to increase by like hundreds of percent. No, you have to remember, you have to be in the right time frame as well, time stretch, right? Like for example, last October, I think this October will be a good stretch for these type of assets, right? That's whenever you leverage Kraken, their marketing ability, Bitcoin meme coins, all that stuff. So just be a little bit more patient because I feel like they'll have their time.
100%. Yeah. And, Leonidas was saying that he went on some podcasts over the week and he basically went on there and said, hey, yeah, we're going to be giving, doing the second airdrop to runestone holders, but we're not doing it until Dog matures. So like, when do you think Dog is matured? Like at what market cap? Or do you think it's a holder count? Like, what do you think he means by that?
I think he means market cap. Holder counts is pretty high, dude. Like
94, yeah. 94,
yeah, I mean that's not
higher though.
I think he's talking about market cap, and I think he's talking about mainstream like awareness. Like it's the awareness on crypto Twitter. It's amazing. Like it has amazing awareness on crypto Twitter, and I think that like the awareness outside of crypto Twitter might be some people talking on YouTube like us or other channels, Kelly, he does a great job,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Dan does a great job, but like it hasn't gotten viral. And Wendy talks a little bit about it, but it hasn't gotten viral to where everybody talks about it. You know, like Doge, everybody talked about Doge. Sheep, everybody talked about Sheep. Even Fartcoin has reached that point, I think, like where at least every crypto influencer on YouTube that has any type of audience has talked about Fartcoin, probably, most likely. But like Dog's dominance on crypto Twitter is so crazy that like once retail does come back, they will go to crypto Twitter because we've seen them. They'll come back to crypto Twitter, they'll leave, they'll come back to crypto Twitter. That's a great thing for Dog because the domination is there. It's set. It's like, okay, when the time comes back for retail to come back to crypto Twitter, everybody that the Dog army is going to be right there waiting for him. Hey, welcome back to crypto Twitter. Have you heard of Dog? It's the main meme coin on Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And so that's going to do a lot. And I think that's the maturity level, is that once retail has come back and said, Dog, go to the moon is one of the biggest winners this cycle for meme coins. That's the maturity level I think he's talking about. And then market cap will obviously reflect that.
Yep, 100%. But let's move along to our next segment here. And we are lucky enough, truly lucky enough, to every single Friday to have somebody from the Emblem Vault team. Emblem Vault, they're building something truly special. They're building AI Agent Hustle. He's going to be able, he's the future, right? I mean, we all see this future of AI, and we're not like putting it into crypto. And AI and crypto are the most two things that are going to blow up the hardest right now, and that is what is happening, and Agent Hustle is on the forefront of that. There's not many. I've been actually doing a deep dive and using some of these AI products, and they're not even 25% what Hustle is. It's absolutely eye-opening to me, to the point where I was like, I need to get as much Hustle as I can. I'm so bullish on what they're building there. But not just that, they're also building another platform. It's one token, two platforms, which is insane. They got Migrate.fun. Migrate.fun is helping a lot of people who are stuck right now, stuck in these liquidity pools that they can't earn from, that some of them are just so big and so heavy that you can't even move the price. It's kind of ridiculous. When they're actually coming in, they're solving a lot of problems, a problem that they had themselves, and they're actually helping a lot of teams. But not only that, they're also building a way for you to migrate or move your NFT from chain to chain to chain. It's absolutely extraordinary with Emblem Vision as well. I mean, this is amazing stuff, guys. Game-changing stuff. So without further ado, let's bring up Jake. Jake, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
What's good, fellas? Man, game-changing. That's awesome to hear.
I mean, is it not, though? Is it not? Like, honestly, outside looking in, like, pretend you don't work there. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it is. The further we get to building all these products, just the more solidified my thesis is that we're a crypto logistics company, and that's pretty much the majority of our services, and that the interoperability sector is just severely underpriced. And we're seeing this right now with the Layer 0 versus Wormhole bidding contest bidding war for the Stargate bridge, which has 2 million in revenue and is being bid at 2 million in annual revenue, and currently has a bid at 110 million, and Wormhole is supposed to be bidding much higher. So it's kind of wild to see that a bridge is getting 50x multiple on its valuation compared to its revenue, because Emblem's actually not that far off from that. And if you combine, Migrate Fund and Emblem Vault and Agent Hustle, we have expectations that could be much higher than that at some point in the future. And we're planning on growing it. And we haven't even released our own fungible token bridge, right? So at the end of the day, just moving assets across launch pads, across blockchains, across protocols is a very big business. And in the real world, the global GDP of the international and domestic shipping industry is about 7.5% of global GDP. And I think crypto could be in that similar realm where, 1 in 10 transactions is some sort of wrapped action or bridged action or vaulted action or migrated action, I guess now.
Do you see it becoming like more popular across all different tech stacks though?
Yeah. I mean, the way that I look at the crypto industry and the way that we internally try to I guess, think about how the crypto industry is very similar to the real world. Like, for example, we've said this for years, but Bitcoin is mostly an export chain, right? You're taking Bitcoin and you're wrapping it in different ecosystems to use as collateral. You're bridging runes to go trade on Solana or on ICP, and you're taking counterparty assets and trading them on Ethereum, right? So that's not going to slow down. That's only going to accelerate. And with Migrate Fund, it's just a good example of different types of vendor lock-in where, you know, you have lock liquidity in these LP pools and users want to take the training wheels off and go move to their own pool or to a better ecosystem that best supports their needs and wants. And in the real world, this happens literally daily with businesses. They pack up and leave the city that they're in, or they move countries, or they move industries because there's better incentives or more growth opportunities. And, you know, you're just seeing the human nature element of this just play out in the digital world, but it's going to be at a much larger scale. You know, maybe this takes 5 years or 10 years for that to play out, but, you know, Amazon is one of the most valuable companies in the world for a reason. And the most profitable business ever to exist, which is the Dutch East India Company, was also a shipping company, right? So at the end of the day, we believe that Emblem can be one of the most valuable companies because this idea of interoperability is going to be so valuable to the industry, just with more launch pads, more chains, more ecosystems, which means you're going to need more bridges and more ways to move between these different chains. And I don't see that slowing down. I only see it accelerating, especially with the growth of AI and intelligence to make this a much more frictionless experience than the current kind of wallet web extension methodology that's being used.
Yeah, I actually agree with that a ton in terms of the integrating the AI part, making it just a good user experience. But more than that, speaking or viewing it from a commerce perspective, with tangible assets that get rolled into these RWA digital relationship, Emblem could be that true like shipper, right? Like where you're talking about. Let's say that I have a Charizard card, I turn it into an NFT. There's this market. Now I want to take this over to, I don't know, base or something like that. Emblem could play a role in that. And that's where I think like the volume could really start to get really crazy, because now you're dealing with digital and like RWA, which become digital assets. Do you see a world like that in the future?
Yeah, Emblem is what I like to call the great bundler. When you disrupt industries, you're either bundling or unbundling technologies. And Emblem has an ability to do RWAs. You could do fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens, right? Migrations, faulting protocols, AI, etc. The technology is so vast because literally what it is a tokenized wallet, right? So if I could take a deposit address for any chain and insert it into any blockchain, you could literally do pretty much anything that you want, especially with the advent of smart wallets, right? So now you're basically putting a deposit address for any chain inside of a smart contract, and you know what is the future potential there? It's almost unlimited. We just need more devs and more resources to be able to explore that. But you know, crypto is like every blockchain is its own country, just as every blockchain is its own internet. And you either live in this thesis that you're going to basically have dozens of different internets existing independently, or you're going to have one giant intranet where all of these chains can communicate with each other and move assets. And if you think the first option where they're all going to live independently, then essentially crypto is pretty ossified where it currently is today. And if you think that a lot of these chains will have interoperability and users are going to want to move assets between them, then there is an exceedingly high amount of room to grow.
Yeah, man, 100%. For the vaults, it's pretty self-explanatory how to deposit. You basically send to the wallet, done. You get an NFT on the side that you're going to, right? Could you kind of walk us through the process of unvaulting or getting your asset out back to the original chain?
Yeah, unvaulting is pretty simple. You just go to the Emblem.vision site and you'll click a button that says unvault. And what an unvault does is it basically decrypts the private keys that are stored inside of Lit Protocol's TE environment. So you take the private keys, decrypt them, and then the NFT that's associated with the vault is burned so that the vault essentially becomes non-transferable. And then you get the private keys or seed phrase, and then you just go import the seed phrase into whichever wallet it is for whichever asset is stored. The process itself can be simplified a bit more, and that's kind of what we're progressing towards with Emblem 2.0. But with this methodology, it allows you to basically bridge any type of asset because you're simply just you're doing it at the private key and seed phrase level. You're not doing it at the messaging and smart contract level. So at the SCA wallet level, which is one step kind of lower, and it just gives you just full functionality. But obviously with that, with having users handle private keys and such, like that's for where we're heading, that's not going to be something that is going to be sufficient for most users. So we're going to have to essentially handle that automatically in some capacity, whether that's Agent Hustle that kind of does that for users or whatever it is. But as of now, I mean, 9 in 10 vaults that are vaulted or even higher, I think it's like 95% of vaults that are minted are never unvaulted. So, you know, it's somewhat of like a black hole where once people realize this idea of token abstraction, and once we integrate and build this jump tool where you could move the vault to any chain with the click of the button, I don't see why people would ever want to unvault their assets because you just have this unlimited functionality. Obviously, when you unvault it and you hold it on a self-custodial wallet, that's the highest level of security that you could have because you're reducing the amount of attack vectors. But for, you know, full functionality of taking a Bitcoin puppet to go farm on Abstract, or to go take a vault on Solana to go do XYZ DeFi capabilities or functionalities, then, you know, that's the future that we want to build. And I think there's just still probably hundreds of different ways that you can use a vault that have yet to even be explored.
Yeah, I mean, I think having the option in itself is, you know, in knowing how to do that is important. But you have Memetics in the chat saying he does less than 5% of unvaulting. So basically, you vault it for a reason, and that's to use it in different environments and all that good stuff. But yeah, so do you see a future in the near future of being able to do like that being a popular thing, being able to take like a Bitcoin puppet on Abstract and having protocols being built to be able to stake in different ecosystems and stuff?
Right now, there's not really an incentive for people to bridge their NFTs. And from what we've seen so far, there needs to be for people to do it. The reason why counterparty vaults and trades on Ethereum is because the incentive is that's where the liquidity is, because of the native functionality for counterparty assets is quite limited, right? The same thing for Namecoin and some of these other ones. But with ordinals, and you could even say CryptoPunks or Solana assets and stuff, right? Their native functionality is fine. So they don't need to bridge. So for us, you know, over the beginning of the year, as we were talking with all these different L2s, there's a bunch of people who want to partner and bring assets, but right now I just don't see the reason for people to bridge this stuff. So, I mean, we've built our own application that we want to release to try to incentivize people to vault and participate in, you know, speculative economies with their multi-chain NFTs. But, you know, I've just become a lot more certain that there needs to be something more. And so as we do with Emblem, if the partnerships or the incentives are not there, then we're just going to have to build it ourselves, which is what we've already done. We just have to time the product at the right time.
Yeah.
Love it. Amen.
Well,
All
I want to ask one more thing
Yeah.
real quick about this, and then we can move on to another topic. So ideally, how do you want the experience to be with Hustle in this? Do you want it to be like Hustle, what do I have in my vaults? And then Hustle says, you have a puppet, and then I say, okay, Hustle, well, take my puppet over to Base and stake it in Yagobi's ordinal staking protocol. Is that the experience you guys are looking to add for Hustle?
I would say it's really to be determined. It's funny because I was just talking with somebody else in DMs about this. They were asking, hey, when you expand to, you know, these XYZ chains and EVM and such, like what's your expected TAM, like what's expected users? And I'm just like, dude, I have no idea. Like if I could make up a number and tell you if that's what you want to hear, but all of this technology is so new, and like for AI specifically, you have a few thousand people using this. So if I move to, you know, these new chains, it's essentially all new users at this point, right? So there's no way to really predict that. And it's the same thing with AI and interoperability. Is what's the experience look like? I don't really know until I start building it. I could kind of theorize that what you're saying is directionally right, but this is kind of my builder hat. Just putting my builder hat on, is there's so many unforeseen circumstances when you're building, especially with like when you're on the frontier of technologies that don't exist and there's no real template to do it. You have to kind of prepare for the unexpected. And so, you know, I don't really know, because AI is going to continue to evolve, interoperability and Emblem is going to continue to evolve, and you know what that crossroad looks like in the future. That's what we're just going to have to kind of explore. But
yeah,
you know, it's the definition. It's not the sexy answer people want of saying yes, or yes, this is going to onboard 50 million people. But if you're really authentic to building in public, then you have to be proactive in your building practices, but reactive in the adjustments. And if you are not in this situation and you're trying to be proactive in both scenarios, then you're going to you know, limit the upside, because you're not listening to the market data and making decisions based off of what your users are telling you, and you're making decisions based off of the blueprints that you've built.
Yeah, 100%. And with you know, everything coming like RWA, I keep hearing RWA, we're going to need a way to move these RWAs from chain to chain to chain, right? It's not going to be, you know, if they're expecting, you know, 10 billion trillion dollars or whatever the number is to come, you know, on chain, we're going to need a way to move them around, especially if they're, you know, non-fungible, like, you know, most things are in RWA. So yeah, really excited for that. But I want to jump over to the most exciting thing that you guys have right now, and that is the Migrate fund. You guys are going to be doing your first cohort. It looks like the first or second week of September. I wonder if you can get into that a little bit. It's exciting.
So we started our audit on Monday with Halborn. This is something that a lot of people wanted to do, and it takes, you know, time, you know, upwards of a month to get this done, but it's the right way to get it done. I had to basically sacrifice my future firstborn child to get it paid, but it's underway, and we'll see. You know, it's going to be a few weeks, and once that's done, we're going to onboard the migration teams to the platform, you know, individually, one by one, and once they're all set up, then we're going to launch the platform. So, you know, expect a great migration wave in September, mid-September at some point. There's still a few things that have to be determined. We have about 15, 16 teams that have announced. I think there's another 5 or so that are supposed to announce. We're getting new requests literally every day. There's at least 2 or 3 teams that reach out every day. There's a few teams that commit. You have to go through the conversations. You have to do the business development. I have literally over 100 Telegram chats with these different teams. A lot of teams are also interested, but are watching to see kind of what happens with the first group. And I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks. It's going to be really interesting, and the demand is only continuing to grow. And the interests the first group we're migrating to Radium and to Bonk Fund, and we've established a really good relationship with them. There's been a lot of other teams who have reached out, a lot of our community members who are also reaching out to other products because that's what they wish. And, you know, we're at the subject to our token holders to follow what they want. And so we're just going to continue to try to navigate those areas with partnering with the right type of people, building in the right direction, and most importantly, allowing these teams who want a fresh start and a new opportunity to be able to migrate to their respective domains that they want to, which further enhances their growth potential and opportunity of success, which is the most important factor here.
What are some reasons why a project would want to migrate? Like, what are you hearing the reasons why to do this?
Generally comes down to 3 or 4 kind of main common denominators. The first one is LP rewards. That's like the most common one. For the majority of teams migrating, they're on Pump Fund, where there is no reward mechanism. because they launched like kind of in the earlier days before PumpSwap existed. So they want to receive some of those rewards. I mean, depending on what the fee mechanism is, but for most, it's generally 0.3% swap fee, right? So every $1 million in trading volume is $3,000 in revenue, right? So some of these coins are doing millions of dollars of trading volume a day, and they're just leaving it on the table. So they want to go, or they want a piece of that cake. Whether they move to Bonk Fund to participate in like the shared LP rewards in a more curated experience, or they want to move to Radium where they had to take complete ownership of the LP, but also comes a lot more responsibilities. It tends to differ. It seems like a lot of the larger teams tend to kind of gravitate more towards their own pool, right? Because they generally, the larger teams are a little bit, they either have VC funding, or they have a larger team, or they have larger ambitions. And essentially, they're just ready to take the training wheels off. That's kind of what I see a Launchpad as. Whereas the vast majority of people, though, want to go to Bonk Fund because it's a hot ecosystem. The Bonk brand is pretty good. The team is also really good as well, and really on it. And there's a lot of developments going on in that ecosystem, and it also represents a lot more of their needs. The second point I would say has to do with the token treasury. Most people who launch on Pump Fund, this was us included, you don't buy enough of the supply up in the beginning. And so eventually your token takes off, and most of these teams have left less than 5% of the total token treasury, right? So they want an opportunity to regain some of that share through whatever kind of unclaimed process that they want to implement based off of the tooling that Migrate Fund provides. And the third one I would say is kind of a rebrand and a fresh chart. You can kind of combine these as both. This was also what we did from Tensorium to Hustle. I think there's about 7 teams who are rebranding. And on top of this, they're going to be rolling out new products after the migration is done, which is similar to what we did. So we set up a good example. We launched Agent Hustle V3 the day after the migration ended, and it worked out pretty well. And so a lot of teams are looking at that and saying, hey, I think this is a good blueprint for us to follow. And the fresh chart is just like something that a lot of people like, but not really many people discuss, because when you start with a fresh chart, the majority of people who are trading think it's a new token. And obviously, where does speculation flow to? New tokens, right? And so you could you could eliminate the typical pump fund chart that has a giant candle up, giant candle down, and then kind of just consolidates into perpetuity, and get something with a more clean look that attracts these different types of traders.
I think the example that you gave for kind of getting started is like really overlooked, and maybe not even just recognized much, because one of the hardest things to get a strong token going is setting up a strong liquidity pool. But these launch pads, what they can do is help you with that, because they lock it. They don't allow the rugging of that part, right? And so what you can do is kind of get started, get that community started or that project started and established. And then once you feel like you said you're ready to take the training wheels off, you manage your own pool, or if you have another reason to go with another launch pad because of co-marketing or something like that, you can do that. But really managing your own pool gives you the ability to add more liquidity to it or take away depending on the market conditions, right? And so it really helps. It helps you guys, So
yeah, it's been interesting building this Migrate product out the last 2.5 months or so. You get like a really good front row experience to the Launchpad Wars and to all these teams. And what I initially thought was a battle of token issuance is actually a battle of lock liquidity. So it's an interesting position to be in, because we're essentially allowing business to leave a platform, and also an opportunity for business to come, right? So essentially it's like your friend and my enemy at the same time. So I think from like a business standpoint, maybe that's something that's a good position to be in. Will be kind of to be determined. But from the teams, they're also noticing this as well, getting caught up in the social warfare of the Launchpad Wars, and they don't want to participate in that anymore. They want to go to somewhere where they feel a lot more comfortable, and whether that's Bonk or Radium or kind of whatever their requests are. that is something that I think is only going to continue, because the training wheels of a launchpad has a lot of upside. It also has a lot of downsides. And after some point, I think like the bonding curve math of the LP and kind of how the launchpads are set up, it actually prevents long-term growth. And we see this through Pump Fund and some of these launchpads that have most of the tokens have a hard time sustaining a market cap over like $10 million. And it's because of the like compounding liquidity that gets thick, and also just too many tokens in the LP pool itself. So it prevents like volatility on the upside and downside after a few months.
Yeah, man. So right now we're talking about, launchpad to launchpad or launchpad to LP on Solana. But what if I was a project on Base and I had a good community and it's just not growing enough because Base really isn't growing as fast as I wanted to? Could I potentially take that and bridge that, or bring all that LP to Solana?
Yeah, we have cross-chain capabilities. It's not built yet, but it is something that we could do. It's something we're exploring. We have conversations with a bunch of teams on Base, from like Uniswap and Aerodrome to some of the larger ones, both asking about Agent Hustle and Migrate Fund. I think Base is probably the next ecosystem that's going to need a migration platform, because you have the growth of lock liquidity pools between Virtuals and Clinker. I think Aerodrome is building a launchpad, and obviously with lock liquidity comes the opportunity for a migration platform to come in and play. The demand though is actually quite low. I mean, 9 in 10 people are asking about Solana, and so the majority of people, we've gotten maybe 1 or 2 people asking about moving from Base to Solana. And actually, this morning there was one team that said they're moving from Solana to Base, and that was actually like the first time I've heard that of over 100 teams that we've talked with. So I think like Solana is definitely the ecosystem this cycle. Maybe continues much longer, and we're going to go wherever the demand is. But obviously, the opportunity of Base, I think, is probably the next ecosystem that we're going to expand to for Migrate Fund.
Yeah, and ideally, retail comes back and things maybe stabilize a bit more, and we have a top 3 type of ecosystem, because you could, to where there's enough business on Solana, maybe BSC and Base, but obviously we're not there. We only have enough liquidity right now, I feel like, to where one really stands out and the others kind of are a little bit below. They still have good volume, it's just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, Solana is it's a lot more free, I would say. Like, I think maybe because it's like free and open. It, to me, from building on it the last year or so, the demand and trading volume over there is just significantly higher than Base. Also, the builder, I guess you would say the builder community is quite large, although it is growing on Base. But with migrations, right, you need to have, for migrations to exist, there needs to be an ecosystem or a launchpad that grows large enough to where users need to take the training wheels off at some point, right? And so for most projects, it doesn't seem like they're at that current stage on Base. We did see like Billy Betts, they migrated from Virtuals to their own Base contract, right? So you want to see more of that to be able to build a migration platform over there. And, you just don't really see it yet. Doesn't mean that it's not going to exist. It will exist. I just think the Solana ecosystem is just, months or years ahead in terms of the incubation of projects in a launchpad that need to migrate to their own contract or to a different ecosystem, because the competition is increasing. And, maybe the Aerodrome launchpad will kind of increase that necessity for teams wanting to move, but it's just not there yet.
Yeah, well, the biggest I think possibility, I would say variable to make that a possibility would be if we are in full-blown bull alt season, and now Coinbase has Aerodrome directly for these retail usually level 1 people that can buy, and they're learning, they can go into Base right away. And Kraken has their own ink chain, so maybe they attempt that. And BNB has BSC, so that we haven't seen what that looks like in a full-blown bull market, right? To kind of onboard them to their chains, because that's the idea I think that they're trying to have here.
Yeah, the competition is good. I think they're kind of just two different ecosystems, two different battlefields. The Aerodrome automatic listing to Coinbase is interesting. So I'm working to see how that unfolds and talking with their team to kind of see what the procedure is there, right? You could see kind of a future where if that's capable and Migrate Fund expands to Base, you could kind of see a future where, hey, if you're a Solana project or a Base project and you want to do a migration, we'll use the Emblem fungible token bridge, and we'll take some of that recovered Solana or ETH and bridge it to Aerodrome, where you can migrate your project from, let's say, Pump Fund to Bong Fund, but then you'll also get a listing on Coinbase because we bridged it over to Aerodrome, right? Like, I don't think any other team really has that type of skill set, tooling, or capabilities to do. And also it takes a lot of ground game and business development to kind of really understand how all of this works. So I think there's a lot of cross collaborative kind of things you could do there, but we'll really see. The Base ecosystem has more market cap for AI or agentic projects than Solana does, but from what I see, the Solana ecosystem is a lot more active. So we'll kind of see. But like as we do with every product and every type of adventure, we continue to build in public, and we will build in certain areas and make our entrance, and then we'll make decisions based off of what the market data is telling us. I've gone through enough product launches now over the last 3 years to understand that what people say they want and what people actually do are completely different. And a lot of times things are just signal and noise. And that once you actually build something out and you implement it, the majority of people don't actually ever use it. So, we're not playing that game anymore. We're a lot more sophisticated and experienced. And so, we'll make an entrance, and then we'll let the market tell us which direction to go.
Yeah, man, 100%. I agree. I want to jump over to Agent Hustle. So it turns out, and you actually walked me through this, that I was kind of using it wrong because there's different tools and stuff that I didn't have turned on. Could you walk me through how to get to the tools and maybe the certain tools that I should have on as somebody who trades, meme coins, but is not too active with the, analyzing and stuff like that?
So there's 3 main components to Hustle in the apps. This is memory, toolbox, and conditional. These are all things that we built kind of proprietary in-house. I would say go to the toolbox itself. And this is something that we are going to be improving on. So you have 2 different types of tools, right? The trader is like the on-chain tools, and then the analyst is the off-chain tools. So with the on-chain tools themselves, right, these are the accesses to all these different launch pads, like the Pump Fund Launchpad, the Meteora Launchpad, the Launch Lab, which is the Radium Launchpad. So if you want to trade, right, then you're going to want all of the trader ones on. If you're providing liquidity, you're going to want the liquidity pools. You can actually click on it, and it gives you a drop down. No, click on it. Yeah, just click on the bar somewhere. Yeah,
okay.
You'll see the drop down of the explanation of what the tools do, as well as some copyable examples that you can use to have. Obviously, like if you just say, show me the LST pools, then he'll show you the LST pools on Meteora. But you can change, the tickers and stuff. Yeah. So, and then on the analyst side, if you click the analyst tab at the top, these are all of the off-chain tools, right? This is to get TVL, analysis, stable coins, and you could click on it again. It shows you literally drop downs for all of the different types of stuff. These are different types of APIs that we've basically converted into tools. So think of tools as like the API for AI agents. So you could go in and turn these on and off. We are going to be building some presets for this to make it a lot simpler. So you could come in and just click like trader, analyst, right? Like on-chain sleuth or whatever you want, and make it a lot more simple. We're following this in very similar model that I was explaining earlier is, hey, we're kind of first to the scene here in building out this model for customizable tooling for agentic projects. There's no other project that I'm aware of that has this type of offering. So we had to basically put it out. We launched it last month, and see how users would engage with it. And the lack of engagement, I would say, is more telling than the actual engagement. So it means that we need to curate it further. So this is like with the presets, and also our development team is experimenting with an intelligent auto tool selector, I suppose, but it's just still in like the experimental phase. And as we expand to different chains, you'll see this toolbox will offer different things, right? So like when we expand to base, this toolbox is not going to have a pump fund selection because the pump fund doesn't exist on base. So you will continue to experiment with it. The thing to keep in mind is that we have this warning up there, right, that says that as you add more tools or you turn on more toolboxes, then the quality of the AI degrades. So Anthropic actually suggests to only have 30 tools. We recommend, a maximum of 50 tools at a time, right? But really, there's like over 100 tools in there, right? Because each toolbox has 5 to 10 tools or 3 to 10 tools. And so when you have more on, it just means that he becomes slower. Because think of it like this: when you're building a house like from scratch, you have literally hundreds of different tools that you need to use to build a house, right? You have to use tools to roll the concrete. You need different types of tools to set up the drywall and for the roofing. And so if you think about it, where you take all of these tools, it will take a human much longer because you have hundreds of tools in front of you. It's the same thing with like an AI, where the more tools that are on, they basically have to first read your input, so the things that you say to them, and then decide which tool is the appropriate one to use. So we're experimenting and exploring where that is, but we're also just brushing up against the edge of what the AI model capabilities can do. For example, when we first launched Hustle, the financial side with V2, you can only use 7 tools per prompt. Now it's closer to like 10 tools, and it'll continue to grow and expand as the AI model capabilities for like Grok and ChatGPT and Anthropic and such continue to grow. So yeah, it's just good to experiment with it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I do love the concept of potentially it's kind of like pick your trader, right? Like an RPG game where it's like, what do you want to be? You want to be a tank, damage per second, a healer. So I do love that aspect of it, to where I can kind of pick what kind of trader I am, and then just have the tools that I can change on and off. But if I am only that, then that's all I need, right? I love that concept.
Yeah, it's something that you just have to continually monitor and hear feedback for users. Yeah. Like the conditional trading engine has had a lot of problems with it over the few months that it's been launched. We've got the majority of them sorted out now, but there's still always going to be edge cases, because when it comes to AI, there's literally infinite amount of inputs and infinite amount of outputs, which means that there's an infinite amount of edge cases. So the best thing you could really do is try to optimize for which edge cases account for the majority of the issues, and try to solve it that way, right? With the largest problems first, and then kind of get smaller and more granular over time. And these kind of things will continue to proliferate across all these different types of chains. And so we appreciate all of the users who use it, like you guys, and all of our power users who come back and give us feedback on how to improve and where the different issues are, because that's how you win in the space. We've been kind of very loud about this, but we think keeping your product in private beta is a losing model. And from what I've seen in almost 10 years that I've been here in this industry, that there's only a few products that I've ever seen take market share while sitting in private beta for months at a time, or some even years at a time. And so we take the opposite approach, where it's, hey, put it out in public, as long as you have a thick skin and you can just take the criticism and feedback of, hey, this product sucks, or you suck, or whatever it is. There's always a lot of truth within a lot of the criticism that token holders and even outside viewers kind of cast on you. And yeah, we've done a really good job there. And I think that's why Agent Hustle is a grassroots movement that's really homegrown and is able to compete with these projects that have hundreds of millions, or in some cases even billions of dollars of funding. It's because we listen to the users, and the users actually play ball with us, and they tell us, they're early to the product, and they are open to experimenting with kind of new technologies.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the day that you guys are able to have a plugin that allows me to dominate the cupsies and the orangies. Like seriously, like that will be the day that they cry. That might be far out, but like the thing with AI that we've seen with ChatGPT, and I've seen it with Hustle, is it's ever evolving. Meaning that like whatever edition that you are experiencing today with Agent Hustle, 6 months down the road is going to be better in all aspects, and that's what I've seen with Hustle. And is that how you guys view it as well?
Yeah, it's just something that's going to take a lot of progress with AI. I posted the meme of the Trojan horse, where Migrate Fund is kind of like the Trojan horse, and Agent Hustle is the army that's inside. And it's almost like a Pandora's box, because we know that AI is going to essentially revolutionize the world in many different industries, if not all different industries. And it's going to be the same for crypto. Do I think that you're going to get an AI product that you just click and it makes you money? No, I don't think that's going to be the case. But what it is going to do is it's going to even the playing field with the tooling between the quant traders on Wall Street, to the developers in crypto, to the average crypto goer who trades, speculatively, routinely. Like, what happens when all of these different people have the same tooling available to play on an even playing field is kind of what we're building, and I expect that's where the industry is going. Do I see a lot of products launching that say, hey, deposit money here and this AI is going to make you money? I do see a bunch of those. Do I think they will work out? I think a few of them will, but I don't think these AI tools are going to essentially make you rich automatically, because at that point in time, if everyone has the alpha, it's not alpha anymore, right?
Yeah.
And then people will build kind of tools around it. I mean, in reference to like the Solana trenchers who have a bunch of copy traders, right? Like, Mike, I wonder how much of the success is just built off of people copy trading them. Is questionable, but do they have superior skills? Yes. I also don't really dive too much into kind of the KOL scan kind of community and the trenchers. It's not really my style. Obviously, we're building for those type of trenchers, but we have to build for our own type of trenchers who are looking for, I guess you would say, intelligent information to then make decisions on their behalf. Whereas like somebody like a Cupsy is just a high frequency trader who holds trades for like 10 seconds at a time. And that's not really the type of people that we're building for.
Absolutely. The people, in my opinion, that you're building for are people that want to have any chance against them. Because I have tracked their wallets. I see their activity, how they act. They're comparable to like a top 10 COD player, or Diablo player, where you're just constantly, you know what I mean? Like, in their mind clicks that fast. So does copy trading have anything to do with it? It helps them because they, if you're listening to this, don't copy trade them, because like as soon as you do, they're dumping on you. That's they want the liquidity underneath them, but they're so quick with it. You might be buying a $20 position, they're probably buying a 200 minimum position, and the $20 are underneath or after them, and then they're dumping. But anyways, I think like the AI part of this, to where if it can compete with that, because you got to take some of the human aspect out of it, because those people are so elite. They're at like the top of those like video game players, like I just mentioned, but the AI can compete with them, right? And I think I want that, because what that will do is that will discourage those orangies and cupsies, and it will bring some sort of like humanistic part back to hodling a little bit. You know what I mean? And then you can use the AI for research and stuff like that, because I explained it on the show earlier today. The way that like I feel like the trenches work is you know, those bot traders like Cupsies and Oranges and stuff like that. When it's bearish times, there's no one to push through them because you know what I mean. Like you want to get interesting narrative coin. You get some people that bite, and then those Cupsies and all them. There's like a couple hundred traders that are just really good at this. They'll kill the coin. But when it's bullish, some people are like, nah, that narrative is good. It's good. We can make it. And they'll get a second and third round. And those Cupsies and them, they're out of that first thing. So that's how you keep the longevity going, the sustainability of these tokens. But in bearish times, people are too scared to do it because like Ethereum's bleeding out, Solana's bleeding out, Fartcoin's back to 82 cents. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a little tougher. I guess you can just say, okay, it's market conditions. You got to deal with it. But it's, I just kind of want there to be I want the AI to compete with these guys that are just like,
I need help, man.
They make it so much, they're making a lot of money during the bearish time, and they're making even more during the bullish times. But like, you get what I'm saying. There's just no sustainability. And whenever it's like just mass token launches, it's like it literally the market is made for them. The market is made for that group of 200 traders.
When it comes to AI intersection to crypto, I would also kind of zoom out a little bit and think even outside of the Solana, high frequency trading blocks and look at different chains where the whole time increases, the higher the market cap of the token, right? Or the higher I guess you would say the lower the throughput of the chain, right? So like with Bitcoin, people who are trading like runes and BRC20 and stuff, these people are holding for like months at a time, right? And so I think AI is actually, for like agent hustle, it's actually a lot better or gives you a much bigger advantage and edge in these type of ecosystems, like on Ethereum mainnet, right? And some of these other kind of L2s, where Solana is just being optimized for, high frequency trading with meme coins. That can obviously change once Solana evolves past I guess you would say high issuance token ecosystem and starts optimizing for, builders and things like that, if that ever happens. But, it's hard to meet some of these people like Cupsy on their battlefield where they're holding for 10 seconds. I don't know if AI is going to be able to compete with that, to be completely honest. I mean, these people are, I'm sure AI can compete with that at some point in the future, just not in the near term. I don't see that happening. And so, you gotta basically use the tool on different types of battlefields. And for AI right now, right, to do one single prompt to set like a conditional order will take like 20 seconds or so. At that point in time, people like those trenchers are in and out of positions before the prompt can even execute a trade, right? So you got to think about it in a different lens where what are things that AI can do that they can't do, and what are things that they can do and that AI can't. And for those type of people, they could click buttons much faster than an AI agent can execute a prompt. And I just don't see that changing anytime in the near future.
Yeah, 100%. I have a few questions here from our guy Stan. He says, as traditional institutions enter Web3 space, what's the Emblem's long-term outlook when it comes to being acquired, partnering, or independent growth? And overall, which is best for Web3? Thanks.
It's an interesting question. It's something we talk about a lot. For Emblem side of things, it's a logistics company. It's a movement company. It's a key piece of infrastructure. What is the value of that? I'm not really sure, to be honest. That'll be for the market to decide. But who we partner, we are partnering with people who want to partner with us. And we've been growing that independently. If a company wants to come in and acquire us because they have funds and distribution where we have the technology, then that's something that, we'll talk about at the cap table if that's something that's interested. As of today, there's not a company that has shown that type of interest. And so until that does change, then we're just going to continue doing the same thing that we're doing, which is partnering with people who want to build with us and growing independently until the resource situation changes.
Yeah,
great answer.
Great question. Stan always has good questions. Really quick though, we're about $50 away from Ethereum's all-time high. We're sitting at 48.20 right now. Yeah. So that would be a big celebration headed into the weekend. But continue on, Shizzy.
Yeah, no problem. He has a couple more questions here. He said, and does Jake view Tom Lee and Michael Saylor as friend or foe with possible hidden nefarious intentions to conquer and accept? Where do you go with this, Dan? What do you think, Jake?
I mean, they're kind of two of the same people. I would say it's friends. I mean, they're in two different ecosystems who are now leading they're the leading treasury of each chain of the top two chains in the industry. I don't know if there's nefarious intentions. I think everyone's intention is to just pump the price, right? Like that's the whole idea of the treasury thing. I guess you could say like with the Ethereum treasury, they're looking into taking the Ethereum in there and staking it and then offering yield. And there's things that Ethereum can do that Bitcoin can't. But obviously Bitcoin has a much different narrative and it's a much higher market cap than where Ethereum is. But it is interesting to see the traditional KOLs coming out and shilling treasury companies just as a meme coin trader does. Like everything is conforming around crypto culture and it's being exported to the traditional trading or the traditional financial rails at a pretty high rate, and it is compounding. And it just seems like now I wouldn't be surprised here in the next 5 years or so, by the end of the decade, like all stocks are going to be marketed just as like cryptocurrencies are, which is just like through like mimetic marketing and community and things of that nature. So it's all really merging into one. And I think crypto has really won this culture war.
Yeah, 100%. And his last question here is Jake familiar with his team member fancying the Solana Seeker? If so, how close is Emblem making it happen? So I think Adam, or was it Adam or Chris who was
I think it was Adam. I think it was Adam last week.
Yeah, he wants to get potential hustle into the Seeker. How would you feel about something like that?
I mean, it's just business expansion, right? I mean, it's like saying, how do you feel about free money? Right? Like, of course, I love that. That's always an option. It's much different though. Like actually making that happen. This has happened consistently in our Telegram over the last 8 months or so. Although it's changing now that things are happening. But people in the Telegram's like, why don't you get Crypto Kaleo to shill your token? Or it's like, why isn't Totally shilling your token? Or why aren't you listed on Gate? Right? And it's like, it's not as simple as like, hey, list my token, right? It's like Gate wants $500,000 for a listing, right? Totally interacting with the people that he wants to, right? These people are not everything is just like, hey, do this. It's you have to go through the business development of that. And every team has their own resources, their own situation, their own preferences, and their own kind of corporate rules that they follow by. And so would I love hustle to be in the Seeker? Yeah. What does that actually mean? I don't know, right? Like what is hustle? Like you're saying, like hustle becomes the AI companion of the Seeker, maybe is kind of what that is. Like, yeah, that would be the shit, right? Like Banker being integrated into Coinbase app has done like significant volume for Banker and shown a lot of attention and awareness. Do we need something like that for Agent Hustle? Yeah, absolutely. We would love for something like that. And we're exploring different types of partnerships with different chains to see if that's capable and different types of wallets. And we'll see, it's again, we just continue to move forward with the resources that we have and the relationships that we can do to make all of this stuff possible.
Dude, I would actually buy a Solana phone if I could be like, hey, hustle, what meme coins are running right now? Right. And it just tells me what's going on. That would be phenomenal if hustle was the Siri of goddamn, Siri keeps on my phone every time I say it. It would be cool if that would be the case, man. That's absolutely amazing. That would
I mean, it would. We have the tooling for that. We have the Hustle SDK that any Solana team can use to build their own companion. I think the interest is just quite light because the technology is so new, and the majority of these companies and teams do not want to take the risk, because if you integrate Hustle into the Seeker and it backfires, then the whole value of the Seeker phone, right, it takes a haircut because of that type of integration. So what a lot of these larger companies are looking for is adoption, and we're just not quite there yet. Obviously, we're one of the highest AI coins by market cap on Solana, which is significant, but it's still like a $15 million market cap, which is nothing incomparable. A lot of these teams are looking for 100, 200, 300, $1 billion market cap before they even make the decision, or you need literally thousands of daily active users, and we're just not quite there yet. it goes back literally to conversation I was having with one of my buddies who's a big hustle user. He's like, when you expand to these XYZ chains, how many users are you expecting to onboard? And I'm like, I have no fucking idea, man. Like, there's no way for me to predict that,
10.
right? Like, you go expand to this new chain that has no AI adoption. How many people are going to be interested in the AI? I have no idea, right? That's why we go there and we try these things out and kind of see. Or like another question was like, how much TAM, right? How much value do you think will hustle accrue or in deposits once you expand to base and EVM? I'm also like, I have no idea, right? You have AI players that are there already. You also have in these new chains no AI adoption, and it's just asking the question of like, how many people on this new chain are interested in AI? How many of them are interested in experimenting? And how much of them have the knowledge to even understand what's going on? And a lot of these ecosystems, I have no idea. It's like traveling to a new country and saying like, it'd be like me traveling to China and somebody asking me like, hey, what restaurants are you going to go to? And I'm like, I have no idea. I've never been there. I don't know. Right. Yeah. I'll know more once I get there. And that's kind of the same situation we have with expanding to different chains. It's a whole new country and I don't really know. Yeah. And I don't really know the community until we actually kind of start the process.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was just going to say, one of the statements that you made was, there's not any AI adoption on that chain and stuff. Do you think that we need to change the way we view chains and adoption to them? Because like from a business marketing perspective, that's my background. That's what I went to school for. And I actually, like, my family was in business, so I was able to implement that right away while I was finishing my degree. But it was like, it's so much easier to recruit users in Web 2 because they don't give a shit about the chain. They don't give a crap about the technology. I mean, there has to be a time and point where that perspective just changes. Like, don't tell them about the chain. Like, let's start adopting like fucking regular people and say, this is a badass product. Use it for your life or something like that.
Well, that's the way that we're trying to market Agent Hustle. Is it's just an AI terminal that allows you to interact with crypto, right? And so you try to then fold in all these chains and try to do it in a frictionless way where, let's say somebody who comes to Hustle, we have a bunch of Hustle users who are just like your everyday person who doesn't really know anything. So if we have Solana and then all of a sudden one day there's a button for base and you get the whole base ecosystem, the question is how many of these users are going to actually interact with it? And then do they become a base user because of the Hustle interface, right? That's going to be probably the multi-billion-dollar question, which is the chicken or the egg question that I've asked many times. And it's going to be to be determined, which is, do the users create the demand for AI products or does the AI create the demand for the users, right? So like, for example, if when we expand Hustle to Stacks, right? And because we've been talking with the Stacks community and they want it, because Stacks is integrated into Hustle and this AI starts recommending all of these tokens on Stacks to these people, does that then create the demand and speculation that the ecosystem needs to then onboard new people because they're like, oh shit, there's this new AI tool that's recommending all these tokens and people are making all this money. Now I want to participate in it, right? And then once you start having these users trading with AI in these new ecosystems that are only getting, 6 figures or 7 figures a day in trading volume, now all of a sudden that doubles because there's an AI tool, right? Does that lead to more users to Agent Hustle? Does that lead to new projects to that chain? Or is it the opposite, right? Is it that because these users on Stacks are interested in AI, that they're bringing the demand, which therefore then brings new demand, right? So, it's something to figure out. And I guess we would say it's probably the quality of the AI. I mean, you look at things like HEMI and Banker, who have both now expanded to multiple chains. And I haven't seen on Banker, there's they've expanded to kind of Solana and some of these other L2s, but it does seem like the demand still stays on base. Where it's like with HEMI, I see that they've expanded to like Avalanche and some of these other ones, but it still seems like the demand is kind of on base or on their kind of exchange trading products. And so it'll be the question for Hustle, which is when we expand to new chains, can the quality of the agentic product increase the demand and use for these new chains? Or is it because we started on Solana the people are just comfortable trading on Solana, and that's kind of where their edge is. It's something that we're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess my final question is for you: is have you heard about this thing called Trench Kitty?
Tell me about it.
So Trench Kitty
Yeah, look at
started
that.
on
Look at
Solana.
that trading channel or that price action channel.
I love the fact that we didn't explode up. We kind of just been sitting here, went up sideways and stuff like that. But so Trench Kitty started on Solana, and you know, we opened the bridge up on Wednesday, and 40% of the supply is now on Bitcoin. Not really actively trading yet, but it's hard to trade on Magic Eden when you don't have that blue check mark yet. So we're kind of getting there. But what do you think about that, a coin that you started on Solana? And I mean, you're all about interoperability, so I thought you would appreciate that 100%.
So is that it's a bonk coin? It looks like it was launched on Launch Lab. Is that what I see?
Yep. It was launched on
It's pretty good. 175K, 50K in liquidity, 200 holders. The trading channel looks pretty good. It's been about almost a week since it's been live. Yeah, I think the interoperability to runes is interesting. I saw when you guys had done that. The question is still with the runes, right? Which is like, who's going to be the winning DEX? What's the winning kind of meta protocol? And how many people are actually going to be interested in it? You know, the experimentation is cool, and I'm obviously really bullish on runes. The infrastructure has progressed at the rate that which we kind of expected, right? That's why we did like the keys unlock in Q3. Although I did think that infrastructure would be a little bit further along than where it is today, but it's Bitcoin and shit's hard. And also, you know, people just continue to FUD it, which obviously weeds out a lot of the builders who don't have thick skin and can't really cut through it, or they run out of funds. And you know, we'll kind of see, but the experimentation is good. And also too, with these meme coins, the issue we ran into with Tensorium, and still kind of to this day, is that you have so much of the supply distributed that it's hard to get, you know, volatility upwards because there's so many people who are holding and so many people who want to sell at every second of the day. And so even just moving that over to runes and taking that off, and probably the majority of people have no idea that it's even bridged over. So now you only have to trade 50% of the supply, and you could let the smart arbitrageurs trade on runes and then kind of bridge it back and forth with is it Rune Mine that you guys were using?
Yeah, we use Rune Mine. Yep. And if anyone wants to do it, you can just go to trenchkitty.com, and we have the bridge right there. To click a button, and it'll take you right to Rune Mine, and easy. So we made it super easy. The only problem is, you know, it does show 39.8% is in one wallet, right? But if you look into it, it's the bridge wallet. So that's like the only thing that I think is affecting this thing from really kind of pushing up, and that's education by us, right? We just have to educate people and talk about Rune Mine and everything that they're building there. But the reason, like to your point, the reason we wanted to take it to runes is strong holders. Strong holder count, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's just like those guys don't sell. Like you see it. I mean, you see a lot of trading happening, but for the majority of the wallets, I mean, those tokens just sit in those wallets for months and months. So that was another reason we got the Solana fast-paced traders who like to trade in and out, and we got the runes people who just hold. And I think it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think so as well. You'll probably have to go get you'll probably have to get in contact with Dex Screener to get like a note on there to say like this is a bridged coin or something like that.
Okay.
It's the back end administrative work and detailing of coins, different types of mechanics is heavily optimized for meme coins on Solana. It's actually somewhat disappointing, and I've said this publicly many times, because the way that all of the labeling is that they want all the liquidity locked. They want all of the token supply distributed into different wallets and all these things, or else it's considered a rug, and all of these different types of labeling. But when you're trying to be a large project and transparent, like you can't do that, or else you're considered a rug. So yeah, it's a tough situation. I do think this kind of small thing does hold the Solana ecosystem back, but yeah, you're just gonna have to probably contact Dex Screener and get in contact with them.
I mean, we paid $300 for this damn freaking.
Dude, they made like 70. I think they made like $70 million this year or something.
Oh my god,
it's like crazy business.
And that was the biggest like domination switch I've seen in a lot of different business situations, was Dex Screener taking, and it's such a plain like layout initially, that weird eagle logo, and they took over Dex Tools. Remember 2020, 2021, that was the king, and now no one uses it no more.
Yeah, now look for Moby Screener, who's one of the projects who's using Migrate Fund to migrate. They'll be like the second largest token on Bank when that's done, I believe.
Nice.
And they have a pretty good product as well. And so, yeah, there's going to be people coming to eat Dex Greener's lunch. I mean, $70 million and just literal, that's no work on their behalf, just for metadata updates. Like, that's a crazy business model to be a part of.
Crazy.
100%. Well, Jake, man, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you. So I know how busy you are, man. For you giving us an hour a week is absolutely amazing. But thank you. I'd love to get stage one last time to talk to our community about anything that maybe you missed.
Just buy the Hustle token, participate in the future of intelligence and interoperability. It's going to be a big September with migrations, as well as pushing a lot of updates to Agent Hustle and starting our EVM expansion, which our development team is currently working on. So it's going to be exciting. I think we're also looking to hire another backend developer, interviewing a few people. So if we can expand our dev team to 5, I think that puts us in a pretty good situation here. So lots to look forward to for the remainder of the year.
Love it. Appreciate you, sir. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a good weekend, guys.
You too.
See you, Jake. Absolutely awesome. As always, Jake is absolutely phenomenal. Did ETH hit the all-time high or just barely? I'm just curious.
No, so it's at 48. Here, I can pull up my screen.
I'm seeing 48.5 was high for today. That's pretty big.
Oh, 48,500. Yeah. So
well, 48.50, yeah.
Yeah, or sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, but I think the all-time high with I'm counting the wick because it does touch that is 48.60.
Insane, dude, up 14% today. That's wild.
48.73. It looks like.
Yeah, man. So sorry, guys. We're just jaw dropped at ETH's move today. So absolutely amazing. It's funny how crazy it came back and retested this. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That is insane.
What is that?
Strong.
What is that?
That's that 4080. Remember?
Yeah. That it retested it, but it bounced. It bounced like really well. And I mean, you gotta give Murray some credit. He called the ping pong action, which there was technically one ping pong on the downside, one ping pong bounce on the upside, one more on the downside, and then here we are today. So trading this, the scalpers probably, if you got honestly, last night was the entry after the candle close because it closed below. No, it closed above the 41.50 or something like that on the downside. You take that long position there, but I will say you had to be pretty brave because I mean, yes, I know a lot of people, including yourself. I'll give you credit. You called it. You said this, which I got. I mean, I know you were listening to the radio show, but you still made that statement out there. Like that's a ballsy call there. That's a ballsy trade for sure. Yeah. Especially with the Fed speaking, you don't know how he's going to be. I honestly, just because of the way he's acted in the past, I expect him to be stubborn about it. So,
well, if you think about it, he's around 70 people, right? He's having conversation. Everyone's going to talk to Jerome, even for a few minutes, right? So he's getting everyone's kind of opinion, and I think that really let's just cut rates, you know what I mean? And it's I'm worried about the job market. You get that constantly, it's going to get in your head. You're talking to 70 people, 46 of them say, hey, I'm a little worried about the jobs market. And you're like, what am I missing here? And let's not be stubborn. It kind of takes the heat off. Jackson Hole's a very relaxed, from my understanding, very relaxed meeting. They're having drinks, they're eating dinner, they're having breakfast together, they're having drinks later that night. They wake up in the morning, their wives are there. It's a very relaxed
play golf, right? Maybe.
Yeah, they play golf. Exactly. So I had a feeling that he was going to come in a little dovish today, and he was. So, but that's our show, guys. Absolutely amazing. 890 people in here today. Absolutely amazing. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Buy TK, and that's all I got for you guys.
Yes, appreciate each and every one of you guys for a Friday. Almost 900 people. We are so excited about growing this new community into our overall community, the Trench Kitty community, into the on-chain revolution community. Do your part in terms of spreading the news. And also, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Without you guys, we could not do this. We wouldn't be able to do this. So we're so thankful for you guys. Also, without our partners, we couldn't do it. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. And we know you will because you guys are awesome. But Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes or alkanes, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you will earn Amber points. The first time you connect your wallet to satsterminal.com, you earn 1,000 Amber points. That's a lot of Amber points. And then also you earn by making swaps and transactions on the platform. Also, they have a new borrowing and lending product that's coming out for Bitcoin. So if you want to be a part of that beta test group, reach out to their X account. Go message them. This is an opportunity. If you've always wanted to get connected with a network to get your foot in the door, these are the opportunities you got to take advantage of. Head over to their X account. It's at Sats Terminal, and message them. Let them know you want to be a part of the testing of their borrow product there. But head over to satsterminal.com to learn more today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin to Ethereum, you got to use Emblem Vault. You can actually take your Taproot Wizard and take it to Ethereum and take out a loan against it on the Gandhi application, which is the largest borrowing and lending platform for NFTs on Ethereum. They're going to open up to more collections and blockchains as well. Probably expect something from Abstract, Base, Arbitrum, possibly Merlin, and of course Solana is in that mix. And speaking of Solana, you can use their product, their AI product called AI Agent Hustle, which in my opinion is the best AI product in the Solana ecosystem and a top product overall in the crypto ecosystem. But you can use Hustle to get you through the trenches of Solana, and that is you need help. So that's all I'll say. Hustle can get you some, safe plays. You just ask him, hey, give me a couple, 2, 3, 4 safe 2 to 5x plays. He'll bring back some options for you and give you reasons why he thinks these are good options for the 2 to 5x plays. Also, you can use Hustle to make conditional trades. So you can set up a conditional trade like, hey, buy Fartcoin when it drops 20%. Exit in that same trade when I'm up 100% in profit there, and you can do whatever you need to do. He'll take care of it for you. The last part of the Hustle ecosystem is the migrate.fund part, which if you launched a token on Pump Fund or another launchpad and you want to migrate it over to another launchpad or just manage your own LP so you can earn more, you got to use migrate.fund. It's a really simple process. They will walk you through it. You reach out to the Emblem team and, they can add you possibly to the next cohort if it makes sense for both sides. So head over to migrate.fund to learn more about that. And lastly, is there TGE for the Bitcoin rune. And that is the plan right now, but it's on block 915,000. They will release these founder vaults, which they're actually, it's really cool how they're doing this. These are ERC 721s, meaning that they live on Ethereum. And you can buy one of these NFTs on OpenSea if you just search founder vaults. And again, on block 915,000, they will open up and you'll have a Bitcoin wallet with a seed phrase in there with your Bitcoin runes. Really cool way that they're doing this TGE. If you have any questions, head over to emblem.vision and contact them through their Discord or their X account there. But check them out. Awesome team. You just heard from Jake for an hour. We have them every Friday for the Emblem Hour, so make sure you catch that as well. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. These guys are building something really special. They're going to be the first to offer Bitcoin fungible synthetic tokens to trade like Doggo to the Moon, Billion Dollar Cat, Sats, Ordi, whatever is in demand in terms of Bitcoin fungibles, they will have there. Also, they're going to have synthetic derivatives like MicroStrategy, Coinbase for you guys to trade. But right now, you can trade for Bitcoin or Ethereum as they are live on the Botanics Spider Chain, which is a Bitcoin layer 2. And you can earn points by making transactions on their platform. The biggest multiplier of points, though, is adding liquidity to their vaults. And you can do that, and then you can earn passive income as well as the most points possible on their platform. But you will earn double points as Botanics is also tracking the points earned by transactions on their chain. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of it. I think Shizzy got into a trade earlier today. I think he's probably up because everything jumped up there. But yeah, now he's down. I guess he got into, but he top blasted it. But yeah,
no. What I did was I shorted it.
Oh yeah, that's right. After he longed, he made money and then he shorted. That's right. I remember that.
And I'm down 38%, 13 bucks.
Okay.
Well, this is a couple bucks. I'm doing it for the points.
Exactly. Do it for the points. But yeah, guys, head over to Artura.finance. We have a new live branded segment with them. It's the Artura Show every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join that and join their Discord if you want to be around like-minded people that want to learn about trading. Head over to Artura.finance today. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet. that is building for the best UI and UX for all their users' experiences. They support Bitcoin, Cardano, and now Sui as well. You can trade for Bitcoin runes directly on their application as they partner with SAS Terminal, and you can trade for Cardano tokens as well, like SNEC or FLDT or Toke, their token, as they partner with Dex Hunter there. And then they do have an aggregator partner on the Sui side as well, so you can swap for Sui tokens. And they're going to be adding more ecosystems, guys. But it's a very user-friendly platform. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have a Android, head over to Google Play, download the application, test it out, let us know your thoughts. We'll pass it over to the team. And then also there's an alpha section, if you scroll to the very bottom, where there's YouTubers there. You'll find us there along with other YouTube channels like Cryptos R Us and more as well. So really awesome team. They are super busy right now trying to get onboarded to the Sui ecosystem. So make sure you're following them on X, because they're having kind of like the Bitcoin Blitz, but they're doing it for the Sui. I think it's called Sui Surge. And you'll be educated on Sui and Bitcoin kind of fusion type of projects. So it's really, really educational. Head over to Tokyo.io today. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI with their Wizard 0.3. And you can use their wizard to guide you through the Merlin Chain ecosystem and do DeFi functions on your behalf, like staking and swapping. But their version 0.4 is right around the corner. And that, to me, is what I'm very excited about, because you could do cross-chain swaps as well. If I have Merlin Bitcoin on the Merlin Chain, I can actually use the wizard and buy Trench Kitty on Solana. So really cool stuff. You can do stuff on BNB chain as well. That's going to be coming out very, very soon. And you can use it as research tools. You can ask, hey, give me the top 10 wallets in Fartcoin. It'll bring all the wallets. You can ask for details as well. So we have really two awesome partners with two really cool AI products. Really excited about that. But if you're looking to be a part of their proof of stake system for their security model for their chain, you can actually, there's three options. The first one has to do with Bitcoin. Stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. You earn on average 16% APR. It's amazing for staking Bitcoin. It is locked up until September 30th. So just know that if you do stake there, but it's a great opportunity in my opinion. And then you have two options for Merlin Chain token, the Merl token. The first one is the flexible option, and you earn 15% APR every day. You can claim those rewards and compound them into your staking vault. So really awesome that you can do that. If you do want to withdraw from the staking vault for the day-to-day, it does take 7 days to cool down period. So don't freak out. That's just part of the protocol here. And then the last option is a 6-month lockup for the Merlin Chain token. You earn 45% APR, but you can still claim the rewards and compound interest those rewards. So really awesome options there. This team is crushing it. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more. And lastly is our guys from Ordinal Hive, Fonzie and his team. Ordinal Hive is the fastest ordinal marketplace in the market. You get your Bitcoin right away if you sell an ordinal. Also, they aggregate from all the marketplaces, so you can find pretty much anything here. You're going to find the best price as well. And then they have an amazing dashboard with trader tools like live mempool insights in case someone accidentally fat fingers a node monkey and sells it for $250. You can grab it real quick. They let you know what's in there and the price that's in there. And also you can earn points, as they're going to be giving a future give back as well. So head over to ordinalhive.io today. We appreciate you guys for checking out our partners. We really greatly appreciate you guys.
Yep. Great job, man. As always. And you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io. Some of the best articles, guys. Articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering space, please send them our website. We really feel like you help them get started and caught up to where we are today. Definitely check out our new article all about Trench Kitty. If you don't know what Trench Kitty is, you can learn exactly what it is from here to get you interested even further if you're not already. And then if you guys go back, every article is like a 2 or 3 minute read. They're very quick. You guys can go week to week to week and kind of see what is going on in the market that's hot that week. And this is, in my opinion, the hottest thing that has happened. So definitely check that out. And also, if you guys need a VPN, I highly recommend NordVPN. We have a 70% off coupon here, guys, and they have threat protection powered by AI. I use this every single day. If you do not have a VPN, go get a VPN. There is free ones out there, but they suck. I've used them all. I love this. And for $3 a month, I feel protected. I feel safe. I locked it in for 2 years. Set it, forget it, done with it. I'll talk to you in 2027. And yeah, that's all you got to do, right? And then you potentially get back in. But if you do sign up for 3 months, you will have, and 3 months is up and you want to like reactivate it, you're gonna have to pay this $11.59. So that's why I locked mine for 3 years, 2 years. But you can do whatever you want. If you want to do this to 1 month for $309, you can do that as well. But check out everything with that at this is onchainrevolution.io. And if you go back, you can click up here and see our merch. We do have some brand new Trench Kitty merch. You go up here and you type in Trench. It should come up. Boom. There's the hoodie, brand new hoodie. Just add it. I'm actually going to be purchasing this. I got to do it this weekend because I really want this. It's hoodie season's coming. We're probably about 30 days away from hoodie season. And I want this to be my hoodie of choice. Shout out to Trench Kitty and all you guys, man. And also, too, I did want to start doing this as well. You guys can check out trenchkitty.com. This is the website. We're going to have all types of announcements in here. Everything you guys need. We'll have the buy buttons. This is the bridge to Bitcoin where you can set, you can bridge the Trench Kitty to Bitcoin and everything else. So definitely check out everything here at onchainrevolution.io and trenchkitty.com. Check them both out, guys. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until Monday.
Peace.
OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go, Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.